Hey
All right,
everybody.
welcome back. We are now live with the top 8 coming now. I am Jules, and I'm joined by Apples.
Hey everybody.
That's so sweet. I love this guy. Anyways, our top 8 for today are gonna be Cat, Rizzy, Video Gamer 77, Florian, Westland, Maddy, who is a new player as far as I can tell. Haven't seen him in tournaments. Zinio and CalGar. So I can feel some great games are coming.
Oh yeah, there's some really good players on that list.
And game 1, it's gonna be Cat and Rizzy.
Yeah, starting off with a pretty good match.
Always gonna
Cat really
have
well
Cat
known.
game 1.
Yeah. Hard to get away from the early Cat game.
Right. And Cat has actually not dropped a single game this tournament yet. That's, well, actually, it's not surprising to be honest. But we
Yeah.
see. Actually, we see something really odd. We see that Cat Stormbringer is literally exactly the same as Rizzy's.
Oh, they
Who
do
copied
have.
who?
Oh man, that is the identical list.
Identical. Not a single card is different. Oh, Rizzy is playing Scrap Launcher 8. I want to see that being played.
Yeah, that should be a really fun deck to watch.
Although, it might be a deck that's gonna get banned. APEP is usually a problematic master in terms of control, and that's what Cat likes to play around.
They have really similar thoughts on the deck building process. It seems they have really similar stuff. Looking at their decks, there's a lot of similarities, not just in the identical Stormbringer, but across the board with the different masters. There's still a lot of similarities there. You see, Rizzy's running the Divine Warrior Fire Imp, which is, kind of Cat's bread and butter, which also is in every deck that Cat's running today.
It's There's also Illusory Cleaver in every single deck. Players are afraid of Propeller Horde, I guess.
Yeah, pretty smart to play around it. Everyone might have heard Squid's talk about it earlier. It's good to have a nice answer in that, and it's also just a good cycle card, so. And Scrap Pack, and Screaming Scrat in every deck as well.
Yeah, of both players. Those 3 cards are identical in all of the decks. So that's gonna be a lot of cycle. Also, Zhao Long in most of the decks.
Only
That's
really missing from that King Puff deck from Cat.
Yeah. Although Cat has been a player that's usually playing Zhao Long and the King Puff, but doesn't seem to have one this time. So we have a ban from Cat, and he's gonna go and ban the Stormbringer list, which is identical to his.
Yeah, since he's running the same list, he probably knows how strong it is overall, and is just going to get it out of there so that he doesn't have to deal with it.
Yeah. We're now gonna wait for Riz's ban. What do you think he would ban, knowing Cat's list? Would you go for the same ban and be afraid of a Stormbringer?
I think the Stormbringer would be a solid ban. Again, I mean, maybe even the King Puff though, because we did see last time how strong Cat's King Puff is. He really knows how to play around the perk too and take it to Mana Frenzy. pretty consistently. I mean, that's kind of what he does with all of his decks, but he definitely knows
Yeah.
how to play around that perk too. So it could be that too.
That mortar list from Cat is actually really threatening. The Scrat Tank is also a card that has been getting a lot of value from the reses in this particular tournament, as far as I've seen. It's also a card really hard to counter. Most of the times you feel you're free to counter. It's not going to be a big risk. But when you're actually going to fight it, you see you're losing a lot of mana value.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those cards where if you don't have the right answer at the right time, it really has staying power.
We've seen Cat a lot this tournament, and he's pretty much a great player with any single master. So it's a big deal knowing what to ban from Cat. Do you just go and ban whatever you think he plays best, or whatever you're more afraid of?
I think for me, if I were in Rizzy's shoes, I'm definitely not. But I think I would definitely ban what I think is best against my decks, because I feel like a player like Cat, he might be bringing 4 different lists, but I don't think that he's necessarily going to lose because he's playing the one that he's less comfortable with. Like, I mean, even though they're really similar lists, you know, so I think he can play all of them equally well. So I think it's best to get rid of the thing that deals with your decks better, rather than trying to make Cat slip.
Yeah. So Rizzy now banned the Mortar, which is one of the decks I was more afraid of if I would play against Cat. Most of the times I'm not afraid of Harbinger, but if you get a res on it, it's definitely something that's gonna be painful later on.
Looks like we're having just a couple technical difficulties here. The player's having a couple errors, so we'll be into the game here soon.
Okay. We're gonna wait until game 1 begins. If I were Cat, I would just start off with that Stormbringer. Pretty much because it's been a really powerful deck. We've seen it played throughout the tournament. Has been getting great value with it. Actually, he hasn't dropped a game with it. So I wouldn't be surprised if it started with it. So, game 1 on its way.
Yep. And Cat's gonna start off with his King Puff versus Rizzy's Setsu.
The Setsu is really light. Most likely just focusing on that perk 3 to get it quick and try to melt that opponent with spells and reloads.
Yeah.
So Rizzy floating a little bit of mana because the cards he's got in hand are not great to take the bridges back. But eventually plays Divine Warrior and Marines to take both bridges. Daggerfall instantly coming out to kill the Drone Busters, which are behind the Scrap Tank, which will
Really good value.
will still win the bridge.
And it's definitely... Ooh.
Unfortunate timing from Rizzy there. Good bridge swap to just reveal the assassin and kill it while taking bottom bridge with the cleaver.
Really quick to take the bridge back though from Rizzy with the scrap pack.
Cat 10 XP ahead, but it's still really even in terms of bridge fight and taken, the Blast Mans are just gonna be a pain for Setsu this game.
Yeah. It's gonna cause some problems. A good Divine Warrior to catch the Blastmancer and deal with it, though.
Rizzy floated some mana again before placing that Divine Warrior. It seems like he cannot find a better time to play his cards. Again, the Daggerfall to instantly kill the buzzers.
A good
Cat's
swap to protect the Scrat Tank. And then the
Setsu
Screaming
gonna drop. Good Shock Rock there, removing the Fire Imp without letting it hit. Although, Flightless Dragons are just gonna remove Setsu instantly.
This is a little troublesome for Rizzy, though, because Cat's starting to slip ahead in XP a little bit. And the small advantage to get into perk 2 could really change the game, because King Puff perk 2 is so dominant.
Indeed. And now, perk 2 available for Cat. And it's pretty much likely we're gonna see those Thrones Buzzers with shields sometime, which will be a pain.
Yeah, that'll get rid of this really efficient Daggerfall answer that Rizzy's been using.
That was a good bridge swap to kill the Marines and take the bottom bridge as well. Oh! Cat's Fire Imp will actually kill Rizzy. And the Warrior. Oh. It hits. Okay.
It does get the Warrior. It's a lot
It
of
was a
value
close
there.
one. Now, Cat, 20 XP away from Rizzy.
He doesn't get the Zhao Long with the spear throws there, but they're just gonna go along and King Puff will deal with it.
Setsu drop now available.
And you
Maybe
can see
we'll
with the help of the
go
perk
for-
too, Cat is starting to crawl ahead in XP a little bit. Solid 30-point lead here.
Yeah. The shielded minions are going to be really helpful for Cat.
Oh, really good
Ooh.
bridge swap there to dodge the daggers with the drone buzzers.
What a bridge swap. That was actually insane. He manages to save the raged drone buzzers from Daggerfall.
Really well
Setsu
played.
gonna drop on that Fire Imp. Shock Rock to prevent it from firing, killing the Warrior. And now Cat is gonna take a little damage from this Setsu.
But he gets a nice push built up in the bottom side with the shrimp and the spear throwers.
All of them are raged. Oh,
Oh,
look at this Fire Imp value.
Just melting through.
Melting through 8 mana value, which was also Rampage.
A little late on the swap this time, doesn't dodge the daggers.
Really good try, though. Scrat Tank just denying all sorts of damage from both Fire and Marines.
The Blast
And
Lancer
this
does
Blast
catch the
Lancer
Xiaolong
time.
there, which is really good. It'll deal with that while the Scrat Tank holds off the Warrior.
Cat now 26 XP in front of Rizzy.
Really good Divine Warrior.
And now, even if Rizzy gets perk 3, it will still be a challenge for him to actually use Setsu on face. Because Cat does have a marked bridge, which will give him invulnerability.
And this time around, Cat does get the shields on the drone buzzers, which makes it even harder for Rizzy to deal with them easily.
Gonna use the Setsu drop on him. But, again, bridge swap. Amazing bridge swap. Not only saved the buzzers, but gets him the invulnerability with a
That's
bridge.
a lot of damage going through on Rizzy's face from these drone buzzers now.
Yeah. The assassin tries to save the day, and it will with the help of the Screaming Scrat. And here comes the next wave of drone buzzers with
And
shield.
they rolled the shield again, so it's going to be really hard for Rizzy to deal with those.
Perk
Those
3
efficiently.
available for Rizzy now. Setsu dropping on the buzzers. He does not want to take more damage from these. But look at top bridge. Now bottom bridge. The Scrat Tank just swaps away, but I don't think that the bridge swap was actually beneficial for Cat, since it just killed his own Fire Imp.
Yeah. The enraged drone buzzers here gonna die to Daggerfall.
It's
And
the
Rizzy's
first
just
time in
trying.
a while the Daggerfall actually kills something from Cat.
Yeah, and you can see Rizzy's just trying to hold on to at least one of the bridges as best as he can, but he is starting to have a hard time. And Cat's getting closer and closer to Mana Frenzy.
Exactly.
Only
Just look
15
at
away.
yeah. He is really healthy. Setsu is not getting much done for Rizzy. He just needs to kill Cat quickly, but the experience is starting to be a problem for Rizzy. King Puff's taking damage from the Setsu, but Rizzy is as well by this enraged warrior. Look at Setsu.
Setsu's
Stunning
just trying,
forever.
but... And there's Mana Frenzy from Cat, and I don't think this game is going to be around much longer at this rate.
Rizzy will just try to do everything to keep the bridges, but the massive spam of rage and shielded minions are not gonna allow that. Good spell combo by Rizzy, destroying those buzzers, but the spam is too much. He's taking damage.
Yeah, everything's
500
starting to
HP.
get on his face. The shields and the rage are just too much.
Setsu is just not being able to defend as much as he can, but Divine Warrior is trying so hard. Setsu drops.
And this,
Immediately.
Blastmancer's just slowly popping away at him too in the background as everything gets closer and closer.
400
and
HP.
That's going to be the push right here as it hits Rizzy's face.
Yeah. This looks like game over.
And that's game one for Cat.
The bridge swaps were amazing, and Cat being able to just secure that EXP lead mid-game allowed him to actually get to Mana Frenzy quicker than expected and just take game one. So Rizzy Setsu out of competition. He can only play Apep and Ratbo.
Yeah, what do you think he's gonna take going into this next game against Cat?
I'm actually gonna go for the Apep since we have seen how Cat has taken care of Ratbos in the group stage against Video Gamer. And maybe Rizzy realized that Ratbo is not the answer, but actually, both Ratbo and Apep look really similar to the Setsu deck.
Oh, and here he's gonna play the Ratbo.
Ratbo.
Hopefully, I think the thought process maybe is that he'll be able to get a slight XP lead out of Ratbo's perk 1 and perk 3. And maybe keep up a little better going into Mana Frenzy, but he will have a really hard time. Cat does have the Blastmancer, which is a really strong card against Ratbo.
This Ratbo does have a Magma Storm, but he's gonna have to be careful of not playing it over the bridges, where Cat can just swap it away and save his minions from 5 mana.
Yeah.
Used by Rizzy. Both players fighting for the bridges at the start of the game. Rizzy now floating some mana. Again having this issue where he doesn't know what to play against this Scrap Tank.
And Daggerfall to get rid of the drone buzzers. And it's gonna be really similar to the last game, I think. I mean, early on they'll probably be relatively even until King Puff gets that perk too.
It will all come to Rizzy being able to Daka the Scrat Tanker. And if Cat is actually going to be able to swap it away and close the lead before Daka killing it.
Yeah.
If he does, then it might be a good game for Rizzy to tie the set. Cat's Fire Imp destroying the chopper quickly. And it's most likely going to put a tank in front of it now.
Doesn't actually place a tank in front of it, just letting it do its own push.
Using the tank instead in the top lane to just kill those archers without taking base
Buzzers
damage.
are just gonna get wiped out with the Daggerfall again, where she's just gonna save that every time until Cat has perk 2 anyway.
Good. Spear throwers bottom bridge to just get rid of the Zhao. Which is a problem for Cat whenever he wants to swipe the bridges away. It's annoying, and he kind of not afford to enrage the Zhao. Divine Warrior and Fire Imp combo again, bottom bridge.
Yeah. And definitely has to watch out for enraging this out. And the later we go into the game too, and as the mana picks up and Rappo cycles faster and faster, we'll eventually get to a point where he can get 2 Zhaos out probably, and that'll be really rough for Cat if he lets them both get enraged.
Indeed. Look at the XP, it's even, pretty much. Just 10 points ahead of Rizzy at this moment. One drone buzzer actually survived the Daggerfall. Because Cat changed the bridges, but dies to the Zhao immediately.
You see some good value coming out of the Blastmancer again.
I actually don't think Rizzy's picking Rappo was a good idea, since he knew Cat had this Blastmancer.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it wasn't the best choice to match up against the King Puff.
And I actually don't see enough swarmy minions to be able to pull this Daka out at some point. He does not have a scrap board.
And the XP lead's starting to grow a bit. Cat's up 20 now, and that's kind of what happened last game too. A little slower this time. Rizzy did keep up a little better in the early mid game, but there's the
good
Magma
Storm.
Storm. It really went well for him, getting rid of that Blastmancer.
The real threat to this Rappo instantly removed. That was a good bridge swap.
I would say that's something that he's maybe missing from his Rappo list here that would help him turn this matchup, is a direct answer for the Blastmancer. Instead he has to rely on the Magma Storm, and you can really win or lose a game off of a little bit of RNG with the Magma Storm, but it worked out really well that time.
Cat now in perk 3, and Rizzy is still 20 points to get perk 3, which I don't think it's going to be really helpful for him in this matchup. Since this Blastmancer is a thing, the scraps are just gonna get melted. Rizzy needs to set up a big push top.
Gets the Daka, but not having enough swarm minions, like you mentioned earlier, really kind of bites him there. It doesn't actually answer the Blastmancer directly.
Rizzy was free to cast the Daggerfall there on the Brown Bridge to just get rid of buzzers, since the swap was being used before that. Third perk available now for Rizzy. But Cat is getting closer and closer to that Mana Frenzy.
And there's the Magma Storm to deal with the Blastmancer. Again, he does get the one hit on it. And gets rid of it, fortunately for him. But at this point, it might be a little too late. Cat is up 40 XP. He's only 30 away from Mana Frenzy, and we've already seen what Cat can do in Mana Frenzy with this KP.
KP and Mana Frenzy, it's something you can't really fight against. All the raged and shielded minions are a pain to get through.
And once he gets something across the bridge with the Scrat Tank and the Divine Warrior, once he gets something on that bridge too, he basically never loses the invincibility from the marked bridge.
Rizzy opting to use Daggerfall on shielded buzzard, although he is not getting any other value out of just removing the shields. Might be some desperation from Rizzy trying to just get something done. He knows Cat is getting dangerously close to Mana Frenzy.
Only 9 away from Mana Frenzy now, it's Cat.
And not only that,
this is a shielded push coming in.
Cat is not taking damage from Rizzy's pushes. He's being able to defend pretty well from. Another Blastmancer.
And there's Mana Frenzy too.
Here comes the big push. Even though Rizzy does have Magma Storm to defend himself, I don't think it's gonna be enough.
Yeah, I think by the time the first Magma Storm clears whatever it can, Cat can already have the next push up.
Indeed. And here comes Rizzy just down to 600 HP. Can he actually defend himself? Divine Warrior's shield is out. Dies immediately. Fire Imp not getting enough done.
Yeah, and here you see just the swarm. Cat
Oh.
playing things in the right spots, but really just spamming them out because he has so much free mana holding both these bridges in Frenzy, and that's gonna be it for Rizzy in game 2.
Cat called the GG. He knew that one push was gonna be enough. Rizzy had no mana to actually defend himself there. And we're going to game 3 now.
And as we go into game 3, Rizzy only has one deck left to play.
It's gonna be the Scrat Launcher APEP.
Definitely gonna be the Scrat Launcher APEP, and the thing is, I'm not sure if it's really gonna have enough answers. It really depends how much value he can get out of this Scrat Launcher. He needs to try to close the game before Mana Frenzy, and I mean ideally before King Puff gets perk 3 and just completely invalidates the Scrat Launcher, but he's gonna have a really hard time doing that because, as we've seen in the past couple games, Cat really has good answers for most of what Rizzy's bringing, and after perk 2 it's doubly so. He just controls the board so well.
We know that Cat has this Fire Imp that will just melt through the Scrat launch. Rizzy needs to actually pull a good push and use the Scrap Tank as a damage source while Cat gets rid of all of the minions on his side of the field.
Oh, that feels really bad for Rizzy there. You can see the emote coming out even.
I'm gonna quote Sid here, and I'm gonna call that a big oof.
It's a very accurate quote for
That's
how I'd be
a very accurate
Rizzy.
quote. That's
Maybe
already...
a little bit of the nerves coming through from losing the last 2 matches and going into this third one where all of the pressure's on Rizzy.
Yeah, and already 4 mana down the drain. It doesn't feel like it's gonna be really good for Rizzy further on. He gets perk 1, which will give him 3 Propeller Scrap, which are actually really good. It's a good way to take the bridges without dying to cards like Divine Warrior or Scrap Tank, or actually Fire Imp.
And here's the first Scrat Launcher. We get to see how much value he can get out of it before Cat answers, but Cat does have the answer pretty quickly.
That was another weird dagger fall.
Yeah.
He had that in hand for a long time, even when Cat played the buzzers, and he could have taken them down with a dagger fall. But he instead waited to take out those flightless dragons.
Yeah, that's... I really think we might be seeing the pressure here on Rizzy starting to get to him a little bit.
Defenso Chopper gonna kill those spear throwers while the warrior's trying to get rid of the Scrap Tank.
But that entire time, Cat was holding both bridges, so...
Yeah.
You see the XP lead kick right there as he gets perk 2, and that's really not going to be good for Rizzy. That's a real turning point for Cat, I think.
We're going to see if Rizzy is now going to be able to pull through Cat's shields and rage. Although his first Scrat Launcher hasn't done nearly enough what it should have. And Cat is getting dangerously close, just closing this set.
Yeah, outside of the Scrat Launcher, I think the only other real win condition Rizzy has here is hopefully catching up in XP enough to hit perk 3 in a good time, and then getting a lot of value out of his perk 3. Otherwise, I think we're going to see a repeat of the past 2 games. Because the Scrat Launcher certainly didn't do enough damage at this point, and Cat is almost halfway to perk 3. And after he gets perk 3, I don't think we'll see the Scrat Launcher being able to hit his face much at all.
Well, we'll see what Rizzy gets from perk 3, because it could actually be a turning point. What if he actually gets a second Fire Imp?
A second Fire Imp could definitely be good. And here you see the Scrat Launcher again, he just plays it out, gets a couple hits, but Cat has really good answers across that gap. And Rizzy isn't playing the Stormbringer with it, so he doesn't even get the Marksman bonus at perk 2, so he has to play it close to that gap.
Not only that, but just throwing the Scrat Launcher out there with no support allows Cat to build his own push, just trying to kill it quickly.
Yeah.
And while Rizzy is trying to kill it, he got the bridges for a sweet time, getting a lot of EXP.
Yeah, and there's perk 3 from Cat, and you can see this mana, this XP lead is growing already.
Disgusting. Cat, please just drop a game. Don't make me disqualify you. Confirm you're not a robot, please. There we go. Another tank plus Fire Imp. Daggerfall will just remove shields again and just take a chunk of HP away from this Fire Imp. Rizzy is really far away from that perk 3, and he really needs it quickly.
Yeah, he's gonna need a really good answer in his perk 3 though, otherwise I don't think he has a way to get back into this game, because he's already down so much XP, and Cat is really closing in on Mana Frenzy, and even if he gets something that isn't great, like if it's a mediocre card from his perk 3, it probably won't be enough to really give him value.
Yeah, to be honest, I was thinking that even if he gets a great card, it might not be enough for the huge EXP lead Cat has right now.
Yeah. And this push...
50-ish EXP, it's just...
It's another really big push from Cat in the bottom side here, with the Blastmancer behind the Scrat Tank and the Flame Imp. He just has so many... Oh, man.
Rizzy could just play his launcher twice. Oh. Speaking of mediocre cards, here's perk 3. Here, take a free ghost.
Oh, the ghost. That is really not what Rizzy wanted to see. It might be the ghost of future Rizzy, actually. He's not going to have any luck with that card.
That was a good one. The ghost being used there to try to take that Divine Warrior. It takes it. Well, that was really weird.
And here's the Scrat Launcher coming out again. But Cat is really bouncing between having and not having the bridge and the mark. But the Scrat Launcher is just...
Although, yeah, Cat is going to take quite some damage here. Although, yeah, he gets the bridge, he gets Mana Frenzy.
That's probably going to be it for Cat. He's going to take this, I'm sure.
Like game over. Cat took 1000 HP there from just one Scrat Launcher.
And there's another Scrat Launcher coming quickly.
Rizzy is trying.
There's the bridge for Cat.
Here comes the spam of minions, and there's no Magma Storm from Rizzy this. There is a Shield Totem, but...
And the Shield Totem will stall out the game for a moment, but ultimately it's just... It's giving Cat more time to build a huge push with the Mana Frenzy.
Here comes the spam of minions top bridge. Divine can't do anything.
As it just gets closer and closer. There's the Shield Totem again. Rizzy does have a good cycle to get the Shield Totem back. But all the while Cat's holding the bridge, his push just gets larger and larger.
Look how far Rizzy is from getting Mana Frenzy. Every single push, he has been taking 300 damage, and even though he's cycling pretty fast to the totem, these Blastmancers will just destroy the totem every time. It already took 1 tick of damage from it. Good bridge swap.
And this push is really huge HP. Coming in here. Rizzy is just slowly getting whittled away. Oh, that'll be it, yeah. There's the last push from Cat in.
What a set by Cat.
And this is really a repeat of the last KPC where we watched Cat take his King Puff pretty much all the way, showing how dominant the list is and how many answers he has for every situation, really.
That was a great set from Cat. I'm actually surprised he didn't ever make one mistake apart from one bridge swap that just killed his own Flame Imp.
Yeah, really well played from Cat. It was a good attempt from Rizzy, though.
So that will be the set. Cat 3-0's Rizzy, who played really well, to be honest. We've seen some pressure from his side, some nerves kicking in, but still did a great job trying to stop Cat and give us a win against this monster. But now we have our next set, which is going to be Video Gamer 77 versus Florian. So, Video Gamer, a player who doesn't like bringing the OP cards ever.
He has a very honorable way of playing. He prefers to avoid the more broken cards, dubbed broken cards. Looking over the list, I really like looking at Gamer's lists here. He has 3 Beam of Dooms in his list.
Oh. 3 Beam of Doom, a lot of Wheel of Dooms as well.
He does like that more control-y style, so not too surprised to see these really powerful spells in his decks.
And here's a really underrated card that Gamer's been playing a lot lately, that I've seen another player use it, the Armor Scraps. It's a card that people don't play, and even if they see it on the field, they don't really counter it, and they're just like, oh, I'll let my master handle it. But when they realize this scratch just deal 500 damage to your face, they are quite tanky. They deal their damage. And by the looks of it, Florian also has some really good deck. We have a EXP Milo with a really fast cycle as well.
Yeah, that is a really quick cycle experience. Shrine Milo.
Whoa, look at the Volko. That's
Volko.
4 1-drops.
Volko is one of my favorite masters personally. I really like this list too. He has.
Want me to tell
really
you a secret?
cycle.
I love Volko. And I actually believe Volko is the best tournament master. And people don't actually realize.
I'm not too surprised to hear that. I think Volko is definitely one of the best masters for tournament play. He's such a good master.
We have the bans. Video Gamer bans the Mortar, and Florian bans Ratbow. So we see Gamer not wanting to play against big minions and handling the resurrections because he doesn't have any stunning cards.
Yeah, he doesn't have the stuns to control tombstones. And outside of that, he doesn't have the best cards to take control of the revives.
Right.
So, not surprised to see him get rid of the Mordar.
Now the problem is he going to be able to take out the Volko? Can his other decks just outright kill Volko before letting Volko kill him first?
Sorry about that. Alright, I'm spectating and ready to go.
So, Florian banning the Rappo also tells us he doesn't really want to play against a really controlly kind of deck that we also know Gamer plays really well. We've seen this deck over the past, 3 tournaments now?
Yeah, he has been playing a variant of this Rappo pretty consistently for a while now. And I know in the past, Gamer was really known for being a King Puff player, I think. But since I've started coming into the scene, I've seen him play a lot of Rappo, and I think that it's easily one of his better masters.
Am I allowed to say that Gamer is the best King Puff player?
I mean, I'm not going to argue.
You're not going to argue? Then Gamer is the best King Puff player. No one can argue, because I can't hear any of you guys telling me otherwise. That means Gamer is the best.
It must be Gamer's King Puff that's the best.
It might be.
I do know that Gamer also... Oh, getting into the game, Gamer's playing his APEP, and Florian's starting off with a King Puff.
Here we have the Armor Scrat for the bridge grab. Then neglected by the Shrimps from Florian. That's it, Florian. BM. We love it. Defenso Chopper is gonna handle that Morgul really well, although it's just gonna take one of the bridge.
Gamer fires back a little bit with the BM though.
Oh, this is actually gonna be great. Yes! Gamer's Morgul push the chopper away, so it will not take the bottom bridge, causing Florian to spend another 5 mana on attack to just kill this pup that Gamer got for free. This Prowler for Florian might be a problem from Radio Gamer. He's gonna get stuck in this spam of cards, but oh, actually it's gonna go off. Kill one of the throwers.
And there's the Wheel of Doom to wipe those off the board, and then he just plays the Scrap Pack to take back the bridge.
Really good wheel, because it didn't have something to block the leap of the Prowler.
Bridge swap just to make sure he gets both bridges. But the Armored Scrats will take him back pretty quick.
We see the XP game actually pretty even. Although I think this is great for King Puff. Because once you get that perk 2, the EXP might turn really good on your favor.
Yeah, definitely better for King Puff to hit perk 2 than APEP in this matchup, I'd say. And afterwards, we'll see how well Gamer can hold off the buffed minions of King Puff on the way to perk 3, which will be the turning point for him here.
Yeah. This Blast Mansa slowly chipping Florian away, but Fire will take it out with no problem. So, perk 2 available for both players, and this Shield Totem will prove to be annoying for Florian. Although, I don't know what's going to be more annoying, if the Shield Totem of the massive spam of Rage and Shielded minions. Oh, God.
Ooh, that right there. Fortunately for Gamer, he has the Blastmancer to deal with that
That right board. There is free value for Gamer.
That is so much value for Gamer out of this Blastmancer.
Card we know Gamer loves. Why does he love it? Because he hates Propeller Horde.
Understandable.
Understandable. I hate it too. I'm not gonna lie.
Screaming Scrap played really well again to just take this Prowler for a walk, and then once they're on the bridge and Florian can't afford to block them, he just wheels it away again. And Florian did play the Spear Throwers there, so that's even more free value for Gamer out of that wheel.
We see the Shield Totem dropping to Just save Gamer from all this butter damage.
This is actually really bad for Florian if you look at the XP. Even though he has the King Puff perk too, Gamer is still ahead in XP, efficiently answering everything. And that's really not where you want to be as the KP in this matchup at this point, because Gamer is getting closer to the perk 3.
That was a good screaming scrap from Florian.
That was a really bad prop horde though.
Indeed.
Another prop horde dies just for free to the Blastmancer, basically.
Morgul gonna take both bridges while the Spear Throwers take the Zhao out. Wheel drop to counter the Morgul and the Spear Throwers top. But that means the Prowler has no wheel to be used on now. Here comes the Blastmancer. No shield drop from Gamer. And he gets perk 3, which is going to be a free Chain Lightning.
Oh, Chain Lightning. That's a lot better than the Ghost that Rizzy got in the last game.
Hey, actually, if you think a little, like, this Chain Lightning, look at this. Oh. It's going to be huge. Also
he doesn't actually get the Blastmancer pop.
But he does have the shield.
And he played that really well to open the lid on the Scrat Tank for the wheel to go through. And he's already cycled to the Blastmancer again, too, so the Shield Totem giving him enough time to get the second Blastmancer out and just pop all of those Scrats.
Ooh, look at that bridge swap. The Puppy just said goodbye to the Cleaver.
Gamer just takes the Prowler for a walk again, though.
Again.
And Screaming Scrat has a nice little leash for it.
One hand again, and the Cleaver actually gonna kill the Scrat Tank before dying, which is absolutely huge for Gamer.
Florian has caught up in XP a bit though, which is really interesting. Gamer's got the free card, but Florian's doing a good job of holding in XP here.
If Florian was having a rough time getting closing XP, now that Gamer has this free Chain Lightning, I think it's gonna be even harder for him. Oh, great timing for Gamer there, just playing the Chain Lightning, and Florian playing into it, just losing that enraged firing.
The Cleaver gets another hit on the face, and there's two. You can see the power of the cycle coming out of this APAP now, as he has 2 Blastmancers out.
Oh, the Morgul though pushed the top Blastmancer into the Flightless Dragons. And now that the Blastmancer is gone, Florian is free to play the Propeller Horde. It's gonna force a beam out of Gamers.
That's not the worst beam though for Gamer. He does get okay value out of it. It's not what you want to do when you have a Blastmancer in your deck to answer the horde, but
Chain Lightning drop to just kill this Enraged Fire Imp, which is an issue. Right after you played your totem, can't afford to get that to your face. Cleaver just completely melted by this Flightless Dragons.
And that Enraged Zhao is gonna hit face a couple times here, as Florian just waits to find the right answer in his hand.
It forces out the Spear Throwers because KP can't one-shot the Zhao.
And I think as we're getting closer and closer to Mana Frenzy, there's two things to really pay attention to for Gamer here in Mana Frenzy. And that's one, that he has the Blastmancer, which is a really powerful card going into the Mana Frenzy. It's constantly doing ticks of damage and slowing down the push from Florian. And 2, that's if Florian can even hold off to Mana Frenzy, actually. This is a huge push coming in from Gamer.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be enough. Oh, but the bridge is going to give him invulnerability, but Mana Frenzy comes out for Gamer. Florian is still 10 XP away.
Ahead.
And now Gamer has all the removal in the world to just chip down Florian. He just needs the bridge. There's a beam available, there's a Chain Lightning, and a Wheel of Doom.
He has so many spells to deal damage here. As long as he controls the bridge, that's going to be really rough.
And that's going to be the beam.
There's the beam. And he's just holding this bridge here, and we'll see another spell played soon, probably.
Here comes the wheel.
This bridge. He doesn't want to play the wheel because he knows Florian had a card to block it, probably.
Right. But hey, he still has Chain Lightning. He's gonna throw it.
There's the Chain Lightning.
Oh, he gets the bridge with the armor scraps.
There's game one for Gamer. Really well played from both of them, though. Rizzy, not Rizzy. Florian really held in there.
Wow. That was a game.
What a good game.
Apep showing the cycle here and how the free cards can actually hurt you really, really bad.
Yeah.
This is the thing when you play against Apep. You just play until you figure out your opponent is about to get perk 3, and you just pray that he doesn't get something that is going to destroy you completely. Not like Gamer could get bats for free, right?
Yikes. That's something else. And really, it's showing how Gamer, playing on the ladder, preparing for this event, he really paid attention to, I think you can see, to some of these cards that are really running rampant on ladder. Seeing the prop horde is such a common card. He makes sure he has good answers for it, and Florian never really got any value out of that prop horde, which is normally one of the scariest cards in KP if it gets the shield.
Minion Masters. Let's fight.
Florian decides to bring his Milo, which has a Bridge Shrine, to try to kill this Apep. Again, the Armored Scrats to get the bridges, but Grasping Thorns from Florian will just kill the bottom one, but still not get the bridge. Gamer is smartly conserving his mana. This is a good beam. But it doesn't quite get too much HP away from the Scrat tank. Well, actually, I didn't realize this. Gamer does have a Wheel of Doom to counter the Bridge Shrine.
Oh, that is a really good answer for the Bridge Shrine, as long as Florian doesn't block it. But I think the only card he has that can block that is the Scrat Tank.
He does have the Scrat Tank.
And Gamer chooses to use it on the Arcane Golem, though, and get that off the field.
He could use the Arcane Golem if he could just get some stacks on it, but is it really worth it? Here comes the free wall from Gamer's perk 1. Which, to be honest, is actually a great perk 1 for this matchup.
And then you see the double spells to get rid of that Xiaolong. And I think something to pay attention to going into this middle to late game, you saw last game how quickly Gamer was cycling back to those Blastmancers. I think it'll be really telling how well he can cycle back to the Xiaolong and get the double Xiaolong out here, because this Milo deck is filled with spells, and it's not the best. It's not the easiest thing to answer. Oh, that beam is so good for Gamer.
Kills 7 mana and also deals 300 face damage. But hey, look at the XP. Gamer is actually catching up because all this time when he played the beam, he also got a massive XP amount from taking the bridges all the time. Now with the totem available, and the wall, Gamer just needs to get EXP.
And Florian's hand right now is all spells, so this Xiaolong can be really annoying for him. If Gamer can block some of this, if he can block these missiles, the Armored Scrats, I don't think Florian was looking at his side of the field, and he didn't actually block, or didn't actually read the Armored Scrats blocking those missiles there, so he has to play another card to deal with the Xiao too.
Oh, another beam.
Another massive beam.
And
if Gamer...
the cleaver reaches face too.
Oh.
Look at Florian's HP.
Florian is not actually that far ahead in XP anymore, despite having this Bridge Shrine, and his HP is below 1200. And we know Gamer has the spells to burn him down, and unlike some of the more popular lists from Milo recently, this list doesn't have the healing tool of Clear Skies.
Florian's still choosing to play the Bridge Shrine close to his face, although he knows that he can't take any more damage from Gamer.
I think it'll be really important to see if he plays around the beam a little bit more though, and maybe plays the golem on the other side.
Oh, the wheel. Perfectly waiting for the scrap tank to get out of the way. To get both the Flame Imp and the Bridge Shrine. Oh god. Again, Gamer. Report him. Look at that. Free Chain Lightning again.
Another free Chain Lightning.
Exclamation point, report, Video Gamer, please. This is, I'm calling it hacks.
Florian does have the perk now, so that he has the golem at 5 stacks when it spawns in, but honestly, it's a really bad spot for him still, since he's down in XP, he's down in HP so heavily.
And also, Gamer got another removal spell, which isn't really great for Florian.
Yeah.
Gamer could actually just remove that bottom Bridge Shrine, since the Scrap Tank is in play right now, so Florian shouldn't have one in hand.
Florian plays the Shock Rock Dagger there to deal with the Xiao. He doesn't want to try to play his Arcane Missiles into it, because he knows Gamer can block it.
Chain Lightning to try to stop those golems for a little bit. And Gamer does have a beam too. These golems, no matter what stacks they have, they do die to Beam of Doom.
And you can see the power of these.
Wall.
Oh.
That wall.
That's...
All the spells coming to try to kill this Blast Man, so he cannot afford to lose HP on those Bridge Shrines.
And this is an angry Xiao hitting his face for a lot of damage. He didn't actually deal with it. The Beam of Doom on his face. You see, Gamer's just going to burn Florian out here.
The Beam
He's
just
down
wheel
to 100 health, and
wins
there's
the game
wheel.
now.
He blocks the wheel. That's a good block, but Gamer has
now,
too many spells.
He is just dead to any spell that deals direct damage.
And you can see Gamer's just pumping out these cheap cards right now. He's getting back to that spell. He's going cycling. To burn him.
Here comes the Chain Lightning.
And it's the free Chain Lightning to finish it up.
Final push. Wow. Florian was not able to pull through and get Mana Frenzy quick enough. Gamer, to be honest, Gamer just hacks his way through Game 3. He gets a second Chain Lightning in a row.
And then
that's something.
One deck for Florian here. And it'll be that Volko list we were talking about earlier.
Here we go. Game 3, and it's gonna be a Volko. A really cheap Volko.
And now, the cheap Volko here might be what he needs against this APEP. It could potentially do it. He could seal the game just with some really good afterburner damage. As long as he can get that out before Gamer takes control.
Good Dragon Wall to take the bridge back and also kill this Armored Scrats. If Gamer gets perk 3 and he gets Chain Lightning, I promise I will just walk away from my room. I promise. Gamer, don't you dare get another Chain Lightning. So, we see Volko getting the bridges more than the APEP for now. And the top bridge is going to be the marked one, so Florian is going to try to just keep focus over the top bridge.
Florian's going to wait for these to hit his face before he plays the answer.
And there it goes.
Really well done. And now we'll see some of these cheap cards being played out for a little bit of damage and to take the bridges.
APEP gets a free Grenadier from perk 1, which will actually allow Gamer to get rid of most of the swarm that Florian has. We see more girls fighting against each other. Now Florian trying to make his way through the top bridge.
And we'll see just how many ticks he can get from this afterburner. Gamer does have some really solid control cards here, though, to control the bridge as well. And plays the armored
Florian's
strats out
cleaver
to catch
completely demolished.
And there's the power of those shielded crossbow dudes right there. One survived through all of that to take that bridge.
Survived to the dagger fall, to the whelp, to the back. Simply a great underrated card, to be honest. That after the buff from the crossbow dude, I was expecting to see more of those.
I think maybe going into the next KPC we might see them a little more often. People take a little bit of time to adapt sometimes, but Gamer is showing how strong they are here. And I know quite a few players. Zinio, also in the top 8, actually started off the trend, and Gamer is playing them now. Really felt like they were a super strong card, and it didn't take long to convince some of the other players.
Right. Actually, Florian is ahead in experience this game, which actually doesn't surprise me since it's a Volko with a lot of cheap cards.
Yeah, a lot of really good bridge grab from him.
But Gamer's doing a great job just keeping his focus in that top bridge.
Doing everything he can to minimize the burn from Volko perk 1.
Although, Volko perk 2 will just show how powerful Volko can get over time.
Once bitten on the Screaming Scrat. Actually a pretty cool little combo that you can do there. It leaves the werewolf with taunt after it transforms.
Ooh, using the cleaver to tank a cleaver.
And Gamer's cleaver gets another hit off and it just dies.
This is huge for Gamer. Oh, he pushes. Oh, I was afraid the Screaming Strat was actually gonna kill the Grenadier, but.
And Florian plays that burn the bridges out as Gamer gets that Xiao Long. And now Gamer has this enraged Xiao Long hitting Florian's face.
And the bat actually dies to the Blastmaster, and this Xiao is not gonna be a great problem for Florian. It's still going. Finally, Marines come out. Look at the damage Florian just got from that one Xiao. And Gamer is now actually ahead in experience, about to hit that perk 3.
And that's really where he wants to be too, getting this free perk 3. This time he gets free drone buzzers, which, hello Volko, you can't hit them. That is a bad feeling for Volko. Fortunately, he does have the Daggerfall here.
But is it worth it though? Because these are free drone buzzers. This will allow Gamer to just have some to waste Florian's Daggerfall on.
That's actually exactly it too. Every time he has to Daggerfall those drone buzzers, that's 3 value for Gamer. That's just free mana building up basically.
Florian's Florian's Cleaver completely distracted by the Screaming Scrat for Gamers, and while Florian gets perk 3, it looks dangerous for him.
That dagger enrages the Zhao again, and this is going to be another enraged Zhao going to Florian's face.
Yeah,
and we'll see how long it takes him to answer. This really isn't where you want to be as this aggressor in this matchup as the Volko. You want to be the one taking control early and mid, and Gamer's actually kept up really handily. He's kept Florian down in HP, and we're getting to the point where this control deck is really starting to shine.
I can see Gamer is really focused this game, hasn't lost his cool for a second. Because many players tend to just panic against a Volko and just throw everything to that top ring. Conserving your mana against a Volko is something really important. Because once you start throwing, there's no coming back and Volko will just kill you.
Yeah, it's really important.
The Blast Mancer though. Every single minion just gets obliterated by it.
And this is a huge push coming in.
Ooh, the Cleaver gets to face!
Oh man, that's so bad for Florian.
Gamer can just literally chip him down with removal. Although,
It is really smart of Gamer here, though. He's not just playing spells on face and getting ahead of himself. He is playing this really cautiously still. He wants to make sure he doesn't make that slip up and give Volko a chance to just burn him out.
he had a moment where he could have played the beam into the Morgul that was on phase and get the cleaver to hit once more. But he still decided not to. But now we see Gamer running low on HP. He is actually 900. But he's about to hit Mana Frenzy. Which means beam phase after beam phase.
And there's another Enraged Shao getting a couple hits on Florian.
Oh, actually, Wheel plus
Wheel
beam
and
will do it if this bat dies to the... But yeah, it is. It is game.
Yeah, that's
Florian knows it.
100%. That's going to wrap it up for Gamer here.
What a set.
Really well played from Gamer. Another dominant 3-0 here in the top 8.
Volko was actually really close there in the end, but the XP advantage was actually playing on Gamer's favor. By the time Gamer was too low, it was late.
Yeah, he didn't get that early pressure in that he needed.
So we're gonna switch casters right now.
I'm actually going to step down here and...
I'm gonna miss you, man.
Oh, I already missed Jules, but it's okay.
Ah.
You're gonna have Rush second joining you. It'll be fantastic.
In fact, I'm already here.
Oh,
Hey guys.
That was fast. Hello.
have a good cast.
I was waiting for this.
Yeah. So
sup,
next
Jules?
up,
I'm Rush second, guys, in case you missed that.
old player and now caster, who's been doing this for a while now.
Yeah.
Most of you might know him.
Yeah. I've been enjoying it. Alright, let's see if we can figure out... Yeah. Westland and Maddy is our next matchup, it looks like.
Maddy, a player that I've never seen playing in tournaments before.
Yeah, it looked like he did pretty well in the group stage, and
we were actually surprised
look
about it.
At like who he actually won against in the group stage. Let's see. He had beaten Florian and Acer as well as two notable people to get to the top 8. Did lose against Cat, and he actually already lost once 2-0 against Westland in the group stage. So this will be his chance to try and get some redemption here.
Can the one ban only be enough for Maddy to play something Westland is scared of?
Yeah, we'll just have to see.
Because I see some cheap decks from Maddy. See an Apep, Balco, and Ratboat that are incredibly cheap.
Yeah, it looks like he's focusing a lot on trying to get the Mana Frenzy. He's got Bridge Shrine in 2 of his decks. That said, he does have a Volko as a different kind of strategy, just trying to burn out the opponent. But it's very, very similar to his Ratbow deck, which is just right there. Just almost all the same cards, it looks like. And he's also got a Mordar, so for more of a value strategy. Although there's a lot of like inexpensive minions on there. He needs, if he's gonna play that deck, he needs to be careful not to res any of those. But
Westland,
let me see if I can.
With the Milloween with the Clear Skies, we've seen this Milloween be really strong in the past.
Let's see.
Nah.
Is there a way to... trying to spectate. Hold on a second.
Don't worry.
Oh, there it is. Okay, got it. Alright, we're good. Anyways, on Maddy's... No, we talked about Maddy's deck. Westland's decks, on the other hand, he's got the very, very fast cycle Milloween deck with Clear Skies, just trying to go all in on those golems. And yes, well, Maddy looks like... yeah, I'm spectating Maddy already. He's got a very aggressive-looking Ravager deck. Ravager tends to be, of course, very aggressive. I think we've seen that already once this in the group stage where he used that Ravager deck.
We might have.
No, wait, it was the Diona deck. They're very, very similar.
The totem.
They're both just Rammer, Fireball, and Stun Blast, just trying to get that Rammer damage in and using Stun Blast and Fireball to cover it.
And the decoy totem, which is actually just amazing for the Rammer to just hit various times.
Yeah, it makes the Rammer a lot better. Like typically, if I'm playing Rammer, I'm really worried about like Stun Lancers or something, just shutting it down immediately, or like even like Flightless Dragons. But Fireball and Stun Blast are both very, very good against those.
And the cycle of that Diona is actually really quick. It might be able to just pull some of those pushes multiple times quickly.
Yeah, there's always the option of just playing all those one-cost cards and then just getting right back into the damage stuff.
So, the bans. We see Westland banning the APEP from Maddy. And Maddy responds with the Diona ban. So, we will only see one Rammer from Westland, which is going to be the Ravager.
Yeah, and already we're seeing like really big respect for Maddy towards that Diona. Like my personal opinion is Diona isn't exactly on the stronger side of Masters, so I'd be willing to try and play against it. I'd rather like ban that Ravager, for example, if we're gonna ban a Rammer deck. But we'll see how Maddy can do against the Ravager.
Maddy actually lost to the Diona in the group stage against Westland, so he might just go for the respect ban and just feel like, okay, I can't deal with the Diona, I'm just gonna ban it and see how I do against the other decks.
I see, you're right. He did go 0-2 against that Diona, so he doesn't want to go 0-3 against it. So he'll just ban it and see what else can happen. All right.
While we wait on the games to begin, I would say that Westland's... No waiting. But there's Volko on both sides. And actually, one of them begins with a Volko.
Yeah, Volko's a pretty good master. He's sort of like the anti-Mana Frenzy. If you can just play that game where you're constantly taking that top bridge and spamming as many cards as your opponent, you can just sort of get them down and kill them before they can hit Mana Frenzy.
People tend to play Volko a lot because you can't see triple Propeller Horde here in tournament form. So it's actually a safe... Ooh. The Propeller Horde...
a really good job protecting that Soul Stealer and his Xiaolong, trying to get some damage in.
Unfortunate timing for Westland with a Propeller Horde.
Yeah.
And takes 500 damage from it.
Although Maddy did get some damage in, it's not the most useful thing. It's not like... Well, it is sort of useful. Just... Like, really, you just want to make sure that... Well, I guess really that's Maddy's only hope at this point, is to try and kill Duck. Or... Why is it... Oh, his name is Duck in game, but it is Westland. Of course his name is Duck.
He is undercover.
Yeah. But it looks like, Maddy's only hope in this game is to just try and kill Westland before he can get to either Mana Frenzy or just kill Maddy with all the fireballs. So
Maddy is actually safe here against this Propeller Horde. Oh, but the Chopper just make it...
All those Propeller Hordes are going to get in and get either 1 or 2 hits before the next Mordar attack goes off. So I think that playing that defensive Chopper was correct.
He also has a Screaming Scrat to deflect the scraps, which can help him to not play the Chopper and get him really low because of the scraps hitting it.
Interesting. He plays Lone Wolf on his Divine Warrior, knowing that this Cleaver was going to hit it. And I guess
And
this
it
is
gets him
also-
the bridge.
It does get him the bridge, and also it will
res.
res Werewolf instead of the Divine Warrior, which is slightly better. Because basically, Divine Warrior res straight in the right in the back of your base is like basically just a normal warrior. You'd rather have a werewolf than that.
Maddy tried to save the Soul Stealer with a fireball, but it didn't actually make it, and they both killed themselves at the same time. Which would have been a problem from Westland, since Volko can't hit the Soul Stealer.
Yeah. It looks like Westland's doing a much better job. He's been avoiding a lot of the damage here, but now Mordar has hit perk 2, and this is basically Mordar's strongest point relative to every other master, is when he's got these double res, and most other masters just can't deal with all this extra value at this stage in the game, not without their perk 3.
Right. And the thing is, if Maddy is going to be able to rest Soul Stealers against this Volko, which has this Propeller's Horde.
And he just did.
They just did. And the Horde is now no available for Westland. This could be big for Maddy.
Yeah,
he uses
already,
the Lone Wolf on the Leech
You
Horde.
can see the results of having these double tombstones. It's just Duck can't handle the pressure right now.
Westland down to 1000 HP now.
And
The Elite Swarmer turns into a wolf. Another Soul Stealer, 2 Soul Stealers on the board for Maddy.
does Duck even have any spells to deal with
He
this?
has Daggerfall, but there's also a Zhao on the field.
Yeah,
Westland-
Daggerfall's not
yeah.
gonna kill these things. It looks like this is over already. You just
This
can't
is
deal
over.
with both these Soul Stealers. Just too much air, too many reses on them.
Westland goes down to the Soul Stealer spam. And he
Wow.
also had the burn on hand, which was clogging it because the Zhao Long was not allowing him to play it. And there wasn't cards that were really worth to burn.
Yeah, especially with that. Like Mordar tends to be a really good matchup against Volko because Mordar's game plan is just to get that extra value and use it to kill the opponent, and Volko's just tends to be helpless against that, especially if air units are getting res that can't be burned the bridge. So
Westland loses its Volko. And since Diona is banned, his only picks could be Melloween and Ravager, which Melloween is a spell-based cycle to just try to get to perk 3 quick and spam those golems.
that could work against the Mordar. I mean, even if Zhao basically automatically triggers every time it's played, the golems, the arcane golems can deal with them still. So, and we can see, yes, that Westland goes straight into his Mellowing.
Yeah, and Westland does have a Beam of Doom for this Soul Stealers if Maddy has 2 together.
Yeah, if they do become a problem. Again, like, with Arcane Golems, I think an Arcane Golem just beats a Soul Stealer one-on-one.
Yeah.
So, that, again, it's not really a problem. I'm going to be surprised if he feels like he has to beam a Soul Stealer.
Oh, this is a problem for Westland. He has 4 spells in hand, but actually defends himself really well.
Yeah. I mean, this is his most vulnerable point. It's just before he even has his Arcane Golem at all. It's going to be tough to avoid damage and hold these bridges long enough.
Here comes the first Soul Stealer. And Tombstone is available and almost charged up. The Scrat Tank is actually going to go for the Chopper, which isn't ideal for Westland.
Right. Westland did a good job making sure the defensive Chopper was the one that's rezzed. I think that's a lot less dangerous for this deck than any of the other cards attacking him at the moment.
Yeah. Mainly because Westland has no melee unit. Besides that Scrat Tank he has. He enrages the Zhao, which is actually going to kill the Golem? Ooh. It was
No,
close.
he just played it just enough to distract the Zhao long enough. So now he's got
Second
2
goal.
Arcane Golems, and if he plays more spells, then
He
it's
has
going
the
to sort of
Skies in
heal up
hand right now.
the Arcane Golem.
But it's not going to make it. Oh, he does. The extra
Yeah.
stack gives it more HP.
Although it's still going to die to these top lane minions from Maddy.
Maddy most likely going to res a wolf.
Yeah, I don't
And it
think that's
does.
what Westland wants either. Maybe he'd rather want this Soul Stealer. It does less damage than the Wolf, I think.
Yeah. Thankfully, the Soul Stealer had only one stack. Good spell combo by Westland to get rid of the Xiaolong, which is gonna be a problem in the future. But oh,
he had to spend 5 mana to do him, leaving him wide open in bot lane for this Fire Imp to get 3 hits on him.
while the Warrior is
and now
also
he's down to dangerous health. So
Soul
he
Stealer
needs
Rat's
to-
gonna come
Yeah.
here.
And yeah, and with Maddy at now double tombstones, it's gonna be hard for Westland to keep himself healthy, even with his clear
Ooh.
skies.
Nice block
Yeah,
to
Maddy
keep
showing.
the Soul Stealer alive.
Yeah, Maddy knows the matchups really well. It's very clear that he's aware of what you can do against Milloween, and knows how to block those arcane missiles, which is very important.
I paid attention and saw Westland healing up his scrap tank that was at Maddy's face hitting, but he healed up the tank, which allowed it to hit a few more times, but also healed Maddy in the process. And it wasn't really actually worth it for him, because Maddy is almost full HP now.
I don't think Westland cares that much about Maddy's master
Yeah.
HP. I think he just wants to make sure Westland wants to make sure he survives the Mana Frenzy. So if Maddy's just constantly at full health, I don't think Westland cares at all.
But is it worth it to just heal yourself every time for 3 mana? Knowing Maddy can rest things, and you're gonna need the mana eventually to defend yourself.
Yeah, I mean, 3 mana cost. You need to make sure it's like doing stuff on the board as well, and you can
This
see
looks
the
like game
result of
over.
this. Just Duck can't just deal with any of this pressure. So
Yeah, he casted the Clear Skies twice, and he could have used that 6 mana for something else, rather than just healing up a little bit. Maybe a little bit of a panic play from Westland there to just try to stay alive.
yeah, I mean,
And Westland can now only play the Ravager.
yeah, Jazz is just Ravager now. That said, it probably also could be really effective against this Mordar deck. Mordar tends to not do very well against early aggression.
Play cards.
I mean, I just said that about the Milloween, and the Milloween didn't work.
We are
It's an
jinxing
entirely
Westland.
different matchup, so
That's the strategy now. We jinx the player who we consider to have a better odds of winning.
yeah, it's just I don't know. I feel like I want there to be more games. I want the previous loser of the game to win the next one. So I'm thinking too optimistically about their chances with a certain deck.
Ooh.
But anyways,
This is another master that can't hit the Soul Stealers. And Westland already taking 500 damage from one single Soul Stealer.
right, but I'm hoping that Maddy would take more damage from this push, but unfortunately there's a defensive chopper just blocking everything. This is sort of why I don't like playing Scott or Whirly Scrat. It's just defensive kind of ruins them both. But still, Maddy getting a lot of damage in. And you see already Maddy dropping below Duck's health. And another
Good
fireball
fireball.
coming in. This Brutus is just still there. The Divine
Fully healed.
Warrior's not doing a whole lot of damage to that Brutus. I mean, it's getting there, but slowly.
Westland needs to stun Mortar to reset the attack right now. There it goes. The Dragon Wolf is safe until, well, Soul Stealer arrives.
Right.
But look at Maddy HP. He is running low.
Yeah, but this is really successful for Ravager. This is exactly what Ravager wants. Not only is Maddy low, but Westland already reached perk 2.
Yeah, and the
that's-
Brutus just died.
That's a big payoff from Ravager is just even if you don't kill the opponent with the first Brutus, it can just stall them so long that you can just hold the bridges for such a long time and get perk 2 long before your opponent. And this perk 2 is like one of the best in the game. Like getting Frenzy on all your minions potentially is very, very good.
Also, the fact that Maddy is really low means that he will actually spend more mana on defense than he will trying to kill Westland. He needs to make sure he stays alive. But Westland having Frenzy on his minions whenever they drop below half HP isn't really gonna help Maddy. Ooh, good Stun Blast.
That said, Westland doesn't have a whole lot of minions that are able to get Frenzy on them reliably. Like, a lot of them are very low health. I mean, this Dragon Whelp being frenzied is a very special outlier here.
Yeah.
Usually that's not going to happen for that long. It's very fortunate for Westland that he was able to keep that alive.
Most of Westland's minions are melee. And the problem is Maddy's Chopper can just outright deny them. But look at this, Scotty. It's going crazy.
Just a few seconds of that, and it just crazy amounts of damage. Just Maddy can't allow that to happen at all. And it's just
I don't
so
think he
difficult with all
actually
these
realized
threats.
the damage that he was going to take from that one Scotty.
Yeah, Scott's just has crazy damage, and even crazier when he's frenzied like that.
This Elite Swarmer is going to turn into a wolf. There it goes. But still, the Dragon Whelp. Ooh. The Bat takes down the Soul Steel with the help of a Fireball.
Yeah, you did spend a lot of mana to deal with that Soul Steel. He did a Fireball, Stun Blast, and a Bat to deal with that. But gets the job done, I suppose.
But here comes Terror Brutus.
And yeah, this might spell doom for Maddy here. Because
Rammer.
as long as
Scotty might be dropped top lane.
if Westland just keeps dropping stuff bottom lane with this Brutus, I'm not sure there's anything Maddy could do. And yeah, here comes the Stun Blast to defend against it.
Oh,
Fireball
huge
too.
Fireball! Maddy is even lower now.
Yeah,
250.
Maddy's just holding on, but this Brutus is just so tanky. It survives for so long, and these troops from Westland are just building up over time. Maddy does clear a bunch of them with this Soul Stealer.
The Chopper. Oh, but the Brutus is now hitting face, and it's so healthy. I don't even
coming
think.
in already.
Oh, this is game over for Maddy. Stun blasted everything.
Oh, Brutus managed to go face. Yeah.
Maddy tried to smartly push Terror Brutus out with a Tombstone. He is too big.
Yeah. I mean, even if he did manage to do that, it was only a matter of time before the Brutus ended up getting back to face.
And Westland manages to stay alive this set.
Yeah, so let's see. What the APEP from Maddy was banned, so it's just down to his Ravager. No, wait.
The Volko
yeah,
and the Rappo, which both have meme storms.
All right, well, those tend to be good against what Ravager's trying to do.
Yeah.
This really, well,
Ravager has no black hole available, so this is actually great for Maddy. And he gets to try out twice, even if he loses one of his decks. Both of the Volko and Rappo have Magma Storm.
All right, so already there's a bridge shrine down, and it's bringing Maddy off to a bit of an experienced lead already. He needs to try to save up mana here because Brutus is coming in now, and he needs to make sure he has enough to deal with this.
Chopper is heading towards bottom lane, but it's already running low on HP. It will just take one hit of a Brutus with the help of Marines to go down.
Maddy might just want to use his Magma Storm on all this right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he did. But no, he's just trying to handle with minions. I mean, that Scrap Pack did a lot there. Westland doesn't really have any other. He just has Fireball, which isn't very mana efficient against the Scrat Horde.
And the Stun Blast, I don't think it was going to be good there, because even if you just stun it for a few seconds, the Brutus does not deal enough damage to actually be dangerous.
Right. So this is the flip side of Ravager. I mean, the Brutus, all it really did was keep himself slightly comparable in experience, but didn't really get a whole lot of damage done. And now Maddy is pulling ahead.
Yeah. And he is playing the Bridge Shrine right in front of his face because he knows that Westland has a Rammer. And something about the rammers that Westland was hovering over it when he got perk 1, but he didn't play it. And I'm gonna guess it was because he knows Maddy has a Magma Storm. He was afraid of all of it dying to 5 mana.
Oh, that Stun Blast was perfectly timed. Not only stopping all these minions, but also stops the Daka.
He gets 2 more hits out of this rammer. Maddy is just above the 1000 HP mark. Oh, what a great whirly scrap there.
Yeah. Might have been better if he placed it a little bit further away from the Scrat Horde so it didn't take quite as much damage before being fully summoned, but still got the job done.
Actually, Westland catched up in the XP now. Now that Maddy cannot play the Bridge Shrine. Mainly because he thinks he needs to play more minions this time.
I think the correct play at this point for Maddy is just not play the Bridge Shrine anymore.
Yeah.
I think he's got the advantage on experience anyway. He's going to hit Mana Frenzy before Westland does, no matter what. So I think he just needs to make sure that he can deal with this. Okay, good. He managed to Daka before Stun Blast, but unfortunately still gets a hit in. I think he had the opportunity to play the Scrat Horde and then Daka immediately, but he just hesitated a little bit too long and ended up taking a hit for it.
Yeah, and the thing is that he also played the Scrat Horde so that he could get 10 more bullets out of the die, and it could completely negate it by the whirly scrap. And Westland also got a hit in from the rammer, so might have actually been really good for Westland.
Well, as long as Maddy is still alive, it's not good for Westland, that's for sure.
He decided to play the Bridge Shrine, though. And that might be mana he really needs to stay in this game.
Yeah, and Maddy looks like he's going to have a little bit of trouble trying to deal with this specific push right here.
Ooh.
Stun Blast comes in. This rammer is going to get a few hits in here. Might get a second. Yeah, Fireball too. It's just Maddy can't quite stop this damage.
Westland was a little bit late on that Stun Blast and couldn't actually just stop Ratboth from killing the Scotty with Daka. But still did a great a lot amount of damage with a rammer and the fireball. Maddy now dangerously low. Trying to stay on this game. Rammer also coming in. Daka will come into the rammer.
Oh, it will just Daka's way too late though.
This is game over. Fireball coming in. Wow.
Yeah, it looked like Maddy just, the only hope he had there was just like have his hand like already hovering over a Scrat Horde and Daka, and just immediately when the rammer is played, like play those 2 cards before Westland has a chance to stun.
Wow, that Stun Blast was amazing.
At least force Westland to just stun only his master and nothing else by doing that.
Yeah.
But instead, he just kept getting caught with both his Daka getting stunned out along with a bunch of minions, and the rammer would just takes full advantage of that.
That was a great Stun Blast by Westland. The problem is, even if he didn't stun the Scrats, the rammer would have gotten hit anyways, and another rammer push like that would have been enough for him to just then finish off Maddy with a fireball.
Yeah, I mean, most masters don't quite have the tools in order to stop rammer plus Stun Blast from getting at least 1 hit off.
And now we see the final game of the set. Who is going to advance to the semifinals against Cat?
Well, it's down to Maddy's Volko and
to the other semifinals. My bad.
Here it looks like it's going to be a battle of who can kill who first.
Indeed. Defenso Chopper in all of Maddy's decks. We've seen it get a lot of value against Westland's decks, which are pretty much full of melee minions.
Yeah, it's just the biggest weakness of Defenso Chopper is trying to deal with this rammer right here. It's terrible at dealing with this rammer, of course, because the rammer doesn't just ignores the Defenso Chopper, it goes to face.
The Stun Blast.
And again, the Stun Blast is so good.
Scrats. I'll just kill it.
Only gets the rammer 1 additional hit. The 1 mana Scrats coming in clutch there.
This Brutus is just alone.
Yeah, going right to Defensive Chopper, that's not going to do well here. So, Brutus didn't get a whole lot done, so I think Maddy As long as he could deal with this flightless dragon.
Oh, that
no!
fireball was huge.
Ow. Played too close. Maddy certainly was not expecting a fireball against just a single bat. So I can't blame him for playing the Zhao right next to it, but still. Like, if Maddy just played his Zhao a little bit further away, I feel like Westland would have been looking like a fool for playing that fireball just on a single.
Yeah, even if he was expecting it.
Now he looks like a genius.
Yeah, but even if he was expecting it, he might have thought like, oh, Zhao is just gonna get triggered, and I might just take a little bit more damage than what I should, but I'll get a triggered Zhao, and Ravager can't hit it. But still, the fireball was perfectly timed, and another rammer coming, another dragon whelp. The stun.
Maddy gets a little bit impatient and plays more cards before the stun blast.
The rammer is frenzied. Oh, almost gets a fourth hit.
Forfeit.
Fourth hit. Yeah.
Fourth hit. Okay.
Not forfeit. Fourth hit. Yeah.
I mean, rammers can be decent at getting forfeits from people too. But...
yeah. Remember the rammer Dragon Ball meta?
That frenzied.
Gets face.
Actually getting the mana frenzy and hitting face. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't see that too often.
Oh, the Weirdly Scrap was also enraged to also hit face with the AoE.
Burning this is Bridge. A really, really close game because Maddy is low, but so is Westland. Westland has been ignoring some things that have been hitting face enough times that, like, between that and the firebolts, it's just been sort of difficult for.
The Xiaolong did not get stunned.
Yeah, the Xiaolong was fortunately too far away from Maddy that Westland could not stun both Volko and that Xiaolong. And now this is actually pretty dangerous for Westland. He might be dying soon if he doesn't.
Yeah, Westland looks like
it's. Deal with this.
He has a Screaming Scrap, but the other minions from Maddy will take the bridge back. And now Wesley has no mana to take the bridge back. He looks like
yeah, he can't deal with just all this push and the stuff on the bridge. He's got this one final chance with this rammer, but no.
Wow. Maddy takes the set 3-2 against Westland.
Very exciting set, yeah. That last game was amazing. Very good play from both sides. And Maddy just really showing he's got a very, very good grasp on this game and the decks that he brought as well. I'm very, very impressed.
He played that really well. There were some moments in the game where, for example, that fireball from Westland where he played the Zhao too close to his face, but still, every other moment of the game.
I cannot blame him for that still. Like, who's going to expect a fireball against your bat? Really?
That's true.
Still.
Damn, that was a great set. I was actually surprised that I saw Westland actually coming back for a moment, and when I saw Westland killing that Rappo list, I was like, maybe the Volko can't do better, but it's proven me wrong. Volko again.
I don't want to feel like I'm saying this after the fact, but I did feel like the Volko did have a better chance than the Rappo, just because having a Bridge Shrine deck just technically isn't that good against aggression, and I knew there was a chance that Rappo's Daka was not going to work at all against the Rammer because he could get stunned out of it. I didn't have a chance to say that, though. Anyways, looks like we are going to move into the next match.
Next match.
Make sure that we're spectating correctly. Let's see.
Next match is going to be CalGar against Zinio for our last quarterfinal.
All right. Let's see if I can spectate one of them. I can spectate CalGar. Okay.
All right, I'll spectate Zinio then.
Okay, so these decks, Zinio bringing a very interesting Diona.
Look at the King Puff.
Yeah, and wow, random King Puff. Okay, that's interesting. I'm guessing he just is hoping that those future present cards, the future present, future past, gives him like 4 and 5 mana stuff. Like, what if he gets a discounted cleaver to 4 mana, and now it could get shield and rage buffs?
What about a 5 mana Harbinger with rage?
With shield is probably even more dangerous because like Fireball's not going to be effective.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
But what? Wait, what the? Are we? What's going on here? I'm already getting into a game. Like Kelgaroth is in a match. What's going on here? He's playing a 2v2. What is Kelgaroth doing?
Nice. Best way to practice for the tournament: play 2v2.
I'm messaging him, letting him know that. Wait a minute.
Yeah. It's your turn, buddy. Come on.
He says he's waiting for the ban. Okay. Fair enough, I suppose. I'm just surprised that suddenly I'm spectating Kelgaroth and he's like in a match. Oh well. I guess that's fine. We can still discuss the let's see. How do I get back to there we go. Back to here. Discuss the decks a little bit. Yeah, he's got a future past, future present King Puff. He's also got a Diona with both guild cards.
Oh, and totem. Yeah.
Crossbow guild, swarmer guild. I know it's a swarmer totem, but I like calling it a guild too.
Yeah,
and he's
it's
got
the guild season now.
And he's got the arcane bolt, which I'm not sure what the purpose of that is anymore. Like, I guess just try and stun like a Colossus. I mean, if you're trying to use it to kill Divine Warriors, you're a bit late.
Yeah. I mean, the 9-second stun is... Was it 9 or was it 7? I think it was 9.
It's 9 now. I think it was originally 7, but they buffed it. But even so, it's a very niche card.
He also has this Setsu that we've seen in the group stage. That is really good.
The Wolf Among Sheep Dragon Ball combo that I theorized would be pretty good. Not as good as I expected, but still decent.
And another spamming Volko.
Yeah.
But we do have the bans.
Yeah,
Zinio bans the Ravager, and CalGar bans the Setsu.
Alright, so 2 aggressive decks, people not wanting to deal with them. Instead, we've got both King Puffs are still up.
It actually, might be able to
surprised at that. Like, King Puff just seems like a very, very strong master overall. I'm still surprised that so many people are still willing to try and deal with that.
Yeah.
Masters, prepare
and here we go. KP Mirror.
Duel.
All right.
I just want to see what he gets from this future cards, man. I am not even gonna lie. Please don't get a discounted card for 5 or 4 mana. Oh, and he just does.
If you're already in a game?
I am already in a game. Yes, I'm spectating CalGar and Zinio. So Zinio opens up the game.
Do I
with
have a
pass.
fake CalGaroth in my friends list?
Ooh, that might be a possibility. We've been having a really weird day. I wouldn't be surprised. So Zinio opens up with a future pass and gets a Annihilator for 4 mana, which would have actually just gotten the buff anyway. But hey, 4 mana behind a Scratch Tank isn't actually bad. And he is now hovering over the future present, which is the important card.
Okay.
We see pings all over the arena. What does this mean? It means you're waiting for future present. He gets a Bannerman. Wow. 1 mana Bannerman. If he gets Enraged Buzzers or Enraged Flightless Dragons, it means this will happen. Bannerman will just secure it from dying to Daggerfall.
Okay. Well, I'm in the game now. I seem to be unable to spectate CalGaroth for some reason. So instead
FDM, please.
Like, I can't do it through Discord, and the person on my Steam friends list is like not the same CalGaroth for some reason. So
all right. Good bridge swap would allow Zinio to save that 1 stun lancer for a bit, but CalGaroth will just answer it with Flightless Dragons, Spear Throwers, my bad. And now Zinio has used both of his future cards, and he just needs to get back into the EXP game, because we see CalGaroth being ahead by 25 points.
All right. Well,
Divine Warrior is gonna stop that push for a little bit, and will actually kill everything with the help of the Crystal Archers. And Westland is really close to getting that perk too. And we'll see if we can actually get back into the game. Because XP-wise, CalGar is really ahead.
yeah. And this is sort of the danger of trying to do. Oh, nice
Bannerman
Bannerman perfecting, yeah. That's interesting include into a King Puff deck.
He got it from the future present. It's a
Oh.
1-mana Bannerman, which is actually great because if he gets enraged cards from perk 2, this Bannerman would just protect it from the Daggerfall.
Yeah.
And this is
I mean,
actually
CalGar
looking
looks
really good for Zinio, although he's still behind in EXP. Annihilator top to just kill that Propeller Horde with the help of Elo Cleaver.
Oh, Fire Imp getting stuck bot lane from that swap against the drone buzzers. Really good swap.
And here we go.
To set that up.
The Bannerman will save the enraged buzzer.
Yeah,
Although
unfortunately
it
not
will
going to do a
die.
whole lot because
Yeah.
King Puff's attack is just so ridiculously strong.
We will see if this buzzers can do work for Zinio later on. Meanwhile, this
like,
Fire Imp.
I don't like him playing very passively right there when he was just trying to wait until stuff got close to his master. It gave CalGar a lot more experience. Because
Although he is catching up in experience. CalGar was up by 30 points at some moment of the game, and now
oh, nice swap again.
yeah. Annihilator finally gets rid of the remaining scrats, but it was too late. Oh,
Good swap from Zinio here. It looks like he's gonna save his Annihilator. Yeah.
and here comes
like
the
Zinio just
Ravenous
battled-
Swarmers.
Have a whole lot he can do against this defensive chopper. He does manage to beat it with a enraged Fire Imp this time. I think CalGar couldn't quite get to his swap to stop that from happening.
Yeah. We've seen Zinio play that Ravenous Swarmers, and CalGar is just trying to immediately kill him with Daggerfall, but they are so fast that he missed. Zinio now gets perk 3, and it's slowly catching up. The power of Cycle.
Yeah, I mean, either it looks like he's trying to catch up using his discounted cards, or hoping that maybe CalGar just doesn't defend his own face enough, because CalGar is a bit lower on HP, and that does tend to matter more and more as you get lower and lower, that now you suddenly have to start like giving up bridge control in order to make sure you don't die. We might
Zinio
not quite
swap-
be at that point
yeah.
yet, but
Zinio swapped the bridges to get both marks on the same one, but CalGar instantly swaps back to get his mark on the bottom bridge.
I think also CalGar did that so that his Crystal Archers could snipe a Fire Imp that was on top lane. Well, Zinio dodging all of the Daggerfall using
Yeah.
a swap there, but
Look at this!
really-
Zinio catched up! And
Yeah,
CalGar is now dying!
well, dying is a bit harsh to say from
bit
what's happening
harsh.
there, but not really dying yet, but still, he's hanging in there.
This top push. He might need to place a Divine Word, but I don't think he's got any hand. There it goes.
He's got it now, but this does give Zinio the experience
Oh.
lead because, again, CalGar, this is exactly it. Like, CalGar
He
needs
needs to. Yeah.
give up bridge
Kill
control and
everything.
make sure he doesn't die.
Good bridge swap will allow CalGar to save 2 of his Flightless Dragons, although
but-
Annihilator.
I mean, it didn't really do much, though. Like, the Flightless Dragon just sort of went face and did nothing and died.
Yeah.
But I think CalGar really needed to save Bridge Drop for a moment like this when he needs
Oh.
to stop the aggression that's happening against him.
The AoE of Annihilator just kills the archers behind the chopper, and now Zinio, a heading experience, CalGar below 400 HP. Another
Yeah,
hit for Annihilator.
I think just CalGar has been slowly like holding his own in this game, but now it's just finally the cheap cycle cards that Zinio has been able to get finally is like giving him the edge.
Annihilator kills everything, gets the top bridge. Oh, the bridge swap to kill the flightless dragons. Good shield. Will it keep the Annihilator back? Oh, it does not keep the Annihilator alive.
Looks like this game's over. CalGar's either going to die very soon or die when Mana Frenzy hits here.
Zinio just hits Mana Frenzy, while CalGar is still 10 points away. The XP game just turned completely over the end.
Well, if he can kill this Annihilator, then maybe he has a chance, but no. CalGar still almost a Mana Frenzy. He's just a few points away, but I think now Zinio's gonna very soon.
Yeah, the buzzers end the game.
CalGar just didn't quite have enough to deal with that. Still, that was very, very close. I mean, a comeback was possible if Zinio didn't just played very, very relaxed plays there.
Oh, I loved that King Puff.
I mean, the future has worked out very, very well for him in that case.
You're always just wondering, what are the future cards going to give you? You're about to play them, and you're just closing your eyes. Am I going to get destroyed by RNG? Or am I going to be able to win because RNG loves me? So...
Okay, let me see if I can spectate. It's just, I'm having difficulty. How come there's no spectate message for CalGar? Huh. Like, usually you just go to profile, and then there's a spectate button right there. I'm not seeing it. Unless he's not on my friends list, that could be a possibility. Right? No, he is on my friends list. I don't get it. Okay, so what is CalGar going to do now that he lost his King Puff?
He needs to find an answer to this future King Puff.
Seeing how Cat plays the King Puff, if Zinio plays it just as well, I'm not sure CalGar has an answer with his remaining decks. Like, you either need to just have a tremendous amount of I don't even know, I know air and being able to have 10 range minions tend to be very, very strong against King Puff, since you can fly your flying minions in between the bridges so they can't get stunned by the swap, and King Puff just can't ignore the 10 range minions at all. But CalGar doesn't have either of those. I think in all of his 3 remaining decks, he has no flying minions and no... Well, I guess he's got Crystal Archers in all 3 decks, but those aren't the hardest to deal with on the ground.
Right. We are having some issues right now. One moment, please. Okay. We're gonna go on a 2-minute break, guys. We'll be right back. Hello, everyone. We're sorry about that little break, but unfortunately, CalGar has been disqualified from the tournament.
Air quotes, CalGar.
Yeah. CalGar. The real CalGar is in Twitch chat. He was not playing in King Puff Cup 31. So, unfortunately, Zinio, you've been awarded the win And I know you wanted to play, but congratulations. You are now in the semifinals against Maddy. So next up, we've got Cat and Video Gamer. It's a game that we've wanted to watch for a long time, and I know that Gamer particularly wanted this.
Oh boy. So yeah, we're on to this match already, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
So
I'm wondering what Video Gamer has in store to try and beat Cat here. Like, oh, it looks like
yeah, we'll be
Apples
changing
is supposed to join me?
casters.
Yeah. Well, I can
just
start
letting
talking
the
about
people
deck
know.
right away. So yeah, I'm just going to wonder about what Video Gamer has in store here. He's got a Harbinger in his deck, and hello, Apples, are you there?
Hey, Rush. Oh, just in time to crash and break everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounded like a bowl of some sort. Hopefully, there's nothing in it.
No, it's okay. Nothing of harm. Nothing harmed. We're all good. And I'm here just in time to look at these decks.
Okay, well, let's see. Yeah, I mean, Cat, there's not a whole lot to say against... Well, actually, there is a little bit to say about Cat's decks, because he's bringing a Mordar with a Harbinger in it, which I think is a little bit unusual for him. He doesn't usually have a card like that.
Yeah, that seems to be a little different than... At least different than last tournament.
So, I'm just wondering if Video Gamer has against this sort of style, because, like, I think... of course, Cat like has a bunch of the same decks with just different masters changed. Of course, the most dangerous of those is his King Puff, which we've just seen like just completely demolishing everyone.
Yeah, really a repeat
I think
of
Video
last
Gamer
time.
just really needs to have an answer to it, or just ban it. If he doesn't
Yeah.
do either, I think he's just gonna get 3-0'd.
I wouldn't be super surprised to see him ban the Mordar, though. I don't think he has the best tools to control reses. But...
I believe Cat bans first. I believe Cat bans first, and I think if Cat is to ban Video Gamer's Mordar, which I suspect he's going to do, because I think he realizes that like air units are difficult for his King Puff to deal with in general. I think in general, just Harbingers are very difficult for that deck, because he just doesn't have any sort of like spells or reaching damage that he can use to deal with the Harbinger. So, if Cat does ban his Mordar, I think like Video Gamer, like I said, is sort of forced to ban that King Puff, because otherwise he has no real way of dealing with it.
yeah.
And another issue is Video Gamer is running like a lot of Wheel of Dooms, which in general is a pretty good card, but not when your opponent has Divine Warriors and Scrat Tanks in every deck, and definitely has the presence of mind to save one of them for Wheel of Doom if needed.
Yeah.
Because both those cards can just block it extremely easily. So it's gonna be yeah, I'm just not sure what Video Gamer's plan is here. Maybe just try to use Beam of Doom to just burn Cat to death, but like Cat's decks are like dangerous enough. Like even though his minions are good at bridge control, but there's a lot of damage behind them as well, and you can't just use 7 mana to use Beam of Doom on your opponent's face over and over, or else you'll just die to those minions. So it's not just like blind bridge control from Cat. It's just he does both. He controls the bridges and puts pressure on you.
Yeah, these are really good for pressuring after he gets control of the bridge. They don't just go away after they take the bridge. It's not like a small swarm deck where you'll see little minions played and then they're instantly cleared after they get control of the bridge.
Okay, so we're seeing if Cat is going to arrive soon so he can do this match.
Yeah, it would appear Cat thought he had a little bit more time.
Oh, yeah, of course. Even so, what else can we discuss about video gamers' decks in particular? It's just got very, very fast cycle in all of them. That's a common theme about his decks. Maybe he's just thinking he can beat Matt at his own game. It's just the problem is, even though Video Gamer does have fast cycle, a lot of those like cheap fast cycling cards just don't hold up in actual like bridge fights. So I think Cat can sort of like using like spear throwers and flightless dragons, his divine warrior, he can just sort of power through the minions that Video Gamer has. So I'm not sure Video Gamer can actually do that and beat Cat at his own game.
Yeah. Do have a little bit of an update. Cat is relogging.
So we do have, yeah, we're just sort of waiting for Cat here. What else is this to say about these decks? I guess for the master choices here, it looks like they all brought the same masters. It looks like Video Game with no King Puff, and I kind of wish that Video Gamer kept brought King Puff, because I know Video Gamer is very good at King Puff. Like I played against him in a few friendly matches a while ago, and
Yeah, that
seems to be like he's better at King Puff than I was back then, at least. So
yeah, we talked about that earlier, Jules and I, while we were watching one of his games, and he's pretty well known for his King Puff. It's definitely one of his stronger decks, but he didn't choose to bring it today.
I mean, he also mentions that like Video Gamer doesn't like to bring like overpowered stuff. Maybe he thinks King Puff's too overpowered and doesn't want to bring it. But I don't know. I'd rather him bring overpowered stuff and put up a good fight against Cat than not bring it and have trouble.
Just lose.
That's my thoughts anyway.
Yeah, I can see both sides. He wants to, have a little more honor in it, but I definitely would err on the side of bringing whatever is the best for the best chance to win. Still having a slight delay. Shouldn't be long now.
So I guess another thing is Cat not bringing a Volko, which is different from his last appearances as well. I'm sort of surprised to see like Stormbringer instead.
Yeah, his Stormbringer is really good though. He has had some success with that. Just a second.
Alright, looks like Cat is finally here and we're getting things underway now. So we're gonna get our bans shortly. We're sort of filling in Cat on like what happened. But yeah, I'm still excited to see how these matches play out.
Yeah, it should be really interesting. Two really well-known players. I know they're both very consistent too in tournament scene, making it pretty far. And it should be really fun. And Gamer's style matches up in a pretty decent way with Cat. He really likes to play those control decks. Like you mentioned with the Beam of Dooms and the Triple Wheel of Doom as well. He has a lot of that control-oriented decks, so it'll be interesting to see how well they match up and if he can manage to keep ahead of Cat and win out in the XP.
Yeah. Like we said, it's gonna be tough. Okay, let's see. I can't. I have to get this off my chest. Like, it looks like Cat is very much enjoying this Divine Warrior buff that Beta Dwarf did.
The quote unquote nerf, the tweaking of it. That really.
I get the idea. Like in a tournament setting now, there's only like 5 seconds of invulnerability available to you instead of 8, because you can't run more than one Divine Warrior in a tournament. But still, like, getting Divine Warrior down to 4 mana has like mostly eliminated its weaknesses, which it did have.
Yeah.
Like, it was terrible played on an empty board. Now it's kind of all right.
Yeah, at 4 mana, it's definitely more acceptable.
And of course, it's just like it's not even that much weaker. Like, did the last 3 seconds of the Divine Shield really do a whole lot? I feel like mainly it was just like, you know, just block stuff. A lot of stuff for like the first 5 seconds. And then by the time you get to the last 3 seconds of it, now most of the opponent's minions are like dead to a Fire Imp or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and we got our bans as well. Cat has banned Mordar, and so did Video Gamer. So, oh no. I'm scared. This might be a 3-0, honestly. If Cat just goes straight to his King Puff, that's what I'm fearing right now.
Yeah, it could definitely go that way. We could see kind of a repeat of the last time we watched Cat play. Not just today, but last tournament as well, where his King Puff just kind of rolls through everything because it's so good at answering everything. But Gamer is prepared for it, I think. I think he knows what he's getting into here, and
well, I sure hope so. I'm going to be very happy to see what Video Gamer can try to do against this. And maybe Cat will be nice and pick something else. No, of course not.
No, he's going to open up with the King Puff.
King Puff. He's going to go for that 3-0.
He knows what he needs to open up with and to take control of the game. So he does just start off with that King Puff again.
All right. And Video Gamer trying to beat Cat at his own game and not doing that well. The Screaming Scrat, of course, just dragging the Spear Throwers right back into the bridges. So Cat off to an experienced lead already.
Yeah. And
we'll Video Gamer did a good job of protecting his Zhao Long there with the Divine Warrior, actually.
Yeah, a really good Divine Warrior. Just to protect the Zhao and get control of the bridge. And we'll see the XP swing back and forth a lot pretty early on here, as they both just kind of swap back.
Wow, Video Game is going to beam the Fire Imp. I don't think that's worth it, unless, like, he really is going for, like, a kill on Cat. Like,
he might be. He might be looking to burn Cat out here and not take the game super long. He does have a lot of spells to deal with. Face damage.
Yeah, but if Cat realizes that's his strategy, then what if he just stops playing Fire Imp next to his face once he's down to, like, once he's got an experience lead, a good enough experience lead that he can just say, okay, well, I'm not going to allow you to burn my face and my minions then.
Yeah, I think that's where the diversity in the deck comes from for Gamer, though, because he also is playing Milloween. He has the Arcane Golem, so he has more than one win condition here. Because late game, if they keep even in XP, he is a little behind now, but if he catches up and keeps even in XP, the Arcane Golem is going to be really powerful for late game and Mana Frenzy.
I mean, usually it is, but not against King Puff and Flightless Dragons and Fire Imp, and, like, if he just like, if he has, like, multiple very strong golems coming in, Cat can just swap to stun them both and then kill them when those cards I mentioned. Like, this Cat's deck just has enough tools to deal with that kind of pressure. We've seen that sort of thing before, so it's not going to be as easy as that. Whereas we do have something that really matters here, and that Cat is already perk 2, is head and experience.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough for Video Gamer to gain some ground here.
And if he was keeping ahead in XP before King Puff perk 2, it's going to be a lot easier for him now as these minions come out with all kinds of buffs.
Mm-hmm.
Wheel of Doom to hit the fire imp. Really well done with the Wheel of Doom there.
Yeah, pretty nice snipe, although I mean,
it's not. It might not
Strat
be.
Tank is still getting a good job done in this top bridge.
Bridge swap to deal with the Worley Scrat, and then just takes the bottom bridge again. And this XP lead is just getting larger as the game goes on.
Yeah, I mean, Operation beat Cat in his own game doesn't seem to be working right now. And you can see just that our King Gillum just get popped top lane by these enraged Lightless Dragons. That's just way too much damage for 4 mana could reasonably put out. Alright, once again this Fire Imps are coming in bot lane. And a beam again, this time basically just on the Fire Imp. I mean, Cat did play a minion into it, but it was a tank,
Strat Tank and
takes nothing
lid's
from
closed,
it, yeah.
so just didn't care. And
Like, this
there's the
beam-
drone buzzers behind it to deal with that golem.
This beam just isn't helpful at all in this matchup. And yeah. And I think like at
The
this
lead
point
is
I just feel like it's a foregone conclusion. I mean, Cat now has hit perk 3.
At perk 3,
He's basically in no danger of dying anymore.
he has a massive
It's so far ahead in experience
too.
that like Video Game doesn't really have a chance of catching up.
Yeah, it's gonna be another Cat mana friend, probably.
And while I am excited to see Cat play and seeing him like play at such a high level, I just wish that there were less games like this, where it's just clear that he's going to win and there's nothing the opponent can do.
People had a couple weeks to come up with an answer for this King Puff, and it doesn't look like this is going to be the answer.
I mean, there are answers. It's just they're pretty niche. Like I said, you have to have like flying minions and like 10 ranged minions, stuff like that. That just abuses King Puff's weaknesses a little bit. And it doesn't seem like people are willing to try that. We'll have to see. Maybe there'll be more of that in the future. Just, I don't know. The Minion Masters meta right now is just more at a point of people play what they want to play and not like specifically like going after the top player in the game and saying like, oh, I want to counter him. That's not what people are thinking about when they enter this tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that also comes from the fact that Cat doesn't play a lot of these combinations that are really popular right now in general. He doesn't play like the Howling, he doesn't play the Guardian, things like that a lot of people play.
Well,
so,
A, he doesn't need to, and B, I think these decks all beat those because they've got Divine Warriors and Scrap Tanks and such.
The thing is, people are really focused on beating those and making it to play Cat, and if they overly tech to deal with Cat, they'll end up in a bad spot against decks, right? And they'll end up weaker for it.
That's true, and I think exactly like the decks I mentioned that it has like fly minions and like a bunch of range stuff, like those tend to be really weak against like Howling Moon and things like that, and possibly people are trying to play those decks and they just don't get to top 8 because they die to the more popular decks.
Yeah, they get out to the common meta decks. Cat is 2 mana, 2 XP away from Mana Frenzy.
Yeah, it's about to hit Mana Frenzy. If it was a foregone conclusion, it definitely is now, because there's no way Video Gamer survives 65 more experience to get to his own Mana Frenzy.
Yeah, the different... Wait.
So... He's still trying, though. But there's not a whole lot in his deck that can
all the
allow
while
for a comeback like this.
All the while, he's been eating a lot of damage from Blastmancer. So even when he's holding these pushes back and keeping them by the bridges, the Blastmancer Cat is just chipping away at its health too. And
Yeah.
gonna be game
Looks
one.
like this is gonna be it. Yeah, the Blastmancer kills him. All right. Well, I hope Video Gamer is still excited after that game. We'll see if he does have some secret technique up his sleeve to try and beat this. He's got to do it with either his Rat Bow or Apep now. It's possible if he gets really good cards on his Apep, on his like perk 1 and 3, that he could have a chance against this.
Yeah, I think the Apep is probably his best bet.
Like, maybe if he can... I'm just thinking what kind of cards would be good against this. I guess like maybe the best case scenario for his Apep would be Shock Rock and Drone Buzzers. Well, he's going for his Rat Bow instead.
It could work. He has really good X, the Rappo perk 3.
Yeah,
and his list does Ridge Shrine, but
I played against this kind of deck from Cat on ladder when I was playing a Bridge Shrine deck, and my experience has generally been I can't play the Bridge Shrine or just die to things like these Flightless Dragons. So I end up losing on experience anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that happens here.
Already a nice chunk of Cat on game. Right out the bat, he solid.
Yeah, I mean he's a bit experienced, but the problem is, I think this matchup could be kind of even in general, but not when Cat has a Blastmancer against Ratbo, since that tends to just sort of ruin all of Ratbo's perks.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier in the matchup versus Rizzy from Cat, where the Blastmancer as a card is just so good against Ratbo in general.
It's just sort of one of those cards. It's just not very good in general, but against certain decks and against certain masters like Ratbo, it's just definitely can make the difference between winning and losing. And also, it's sort of insurance for late game, because like as people get closer and closer to Mana Frenzy, the Blastmancer gets stronger and stronger. It's like one of those like sort of comeback enabling cards. And that's the other experience that I've had with Cat. If he doesn't kill me with these, despite my Bridge Shrines, what also could happen is Video Gamer gets to Mana Frenzy first and still loses because he can't overpower this Blastmancer.
Yeah, that's very possible. Definitely. And it's also something that Cat's definitely practiced, right? Knows how to play in because he's, for such a long time, his style has been to go to the late game, has been to go to the Mana Frenzy. He definitely knows how to win, even if his opponent hits Mana Frenzy a bit before him.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's not really panicking here. He's just sort of trying to just do his same sort of style, just like keep up on experience as much as he can. It does look like he's not going to have the option of killing Video Gamer before Mana Frenzy. So we'll have to see how this plays out. Cat does hit perk 2, so now that does make things a bit easier for him.
Good value game.
Yeah. So this is actually, like, as far as like this matchup goes, this actually looks as good for a Video Gamer, I think, as it possibly could. Like, while Cat does have the Blastmancer to possibly catch up in the late game, Video Gamer is still pretty far ahead right now, and it's quite possible that maybe he'll be in Mana Frenzy long enough that he could get through the Blastmancer defense.
Yeah, he'll need to keep the XP lead as good as it, because I don't think it'll be a fast mana. Yeah, I definitely think it'll take some time.
No, yeah, it will take some time, and like Video Gamer definitely both needs to like keep his experience lead as much as possible, and also try to deal as much damage to Cat as possible.
Yeah,
because like his health is going to matter in this game. Like the lower his health is before Mana Frenzy hits, the better it is for Video Gamer.
Yeah. And the XP lead is still there, going strong, but again,
oh my gosh, Cat! Expecting the Daka and playing the Illusory Cleaver to block it from hitting his Blast Mancer.
It's a really
like,
good heads-up play.
and it was basically the perfect timing too. Like, I don't think Cat could have played it any later and had that still work. Video Gamer's sort of indecisive, floating mana right now. He doesn't want to play into this Blast Mancer at all. And then I know why he doesn't want to, but still it hurts. I mean, the Blast Mancer ended up getting a bunch of kills anyway. And now Video Gamer is like
taking
takes
a lot of damage from the
damage,
drone buzzers as well. It's
now like
it's
gonna be hard
25.
to keep ahead and experience when he's constantly to worry about like defending himself now.
Yeah, and this is where we're gonna see, like we talked about, we're gonna see, even though he is closing in on Mana Frenzy, as long as he can hold off, he's certainly going to hit Mana Frenzy first. I feel really confident saying that with the Bridge Shrine, but at the end of the day, this Blastmancer is still chipping away at him, and
Video Games is sort of helpless against this push. There's like nothing he can do against this. There he managed to Daka the tank.
He answers it a lot better this time, but the Blastmancer's still going.
Almost a Mana Frenzy. Another
Blastmancer's already out though, and Cat has really solid ways to defend it.
Video Gamer, yeah, trying to line up his
and he plays the Scrap Pack right into the Blastmancer pop.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to line up his Wheel of Doom, but didn't actually try to use it against the Blastmancer. Now he
has the Mana Frenzy, but he only has 200 health, and that's not a long time to survive against these Blastmancer pops.
Yeah, that's going to be really difficult for him. He needs to save the Wheel of Doom for the Blastmancer. Instead, he uses it on a fire at bot lane. I'm not sure. He's going to have trouble here for sure. Although Cat isn't playing a new Blastmancer yet. I think he wants to Cat wants to make sure that it's protected enough. Okay, there it goes.
Yeah, he's waiting to have the right cards to protect it.
It's just... Yeah, Cat just on top of things, making sure that Blastmancer is protected at all times. Video Gamer just needed to play very, very carefully. There he uses the, again, another Daka just sort of gets ruined by...
Before this first Blastmancer even dies, Cat already has the next one in his hand. He has it ready. And Gamer is just slipping lower and lower. And this push... Unless he answers this push incredibly well, this is going to be it. The Blastmancer just too much for the Rappo.
Yeah, even despite Mana Frenzy, you can just see just how overpowering the Blastmancer is in that matchup, and maybe... I just can't help feeling that Video Gamer thought that was his ace in the hole against Cat. Like, certainly I can get to Mana Frenzy first before Cat in this matchup, right? Yeah, you can, but just that Blastmancer is there purposely to allow Cat to still win in that matchup. Cat just thought of everything with that deck. That's why he has that. Every card has a purpose, including that Blastmancer, and we see it here.
We might be looking at a repeat of the last set of games from Cat, and even the last tournament from Cat, where this KP just is too much.
All right, so now we're down to this APEP. And
let's fight.
Like I was saying, I think this APEP has the best chance just because, well, it is down to chance. Like, it depends on how good Video Gamer's cards are.
Yeah, he needs to get really solid from his perk 1 and his perk 3.
So, like I said, I think like something like either Shock Rock or Elite Swarmer from perk 1. And then perk 3 just like basically needs to be drone buzzers only. Nothing else is gonna be good enough, I think.
We'll have to wait and see what he gets though. Just a small XP lead for Cat to open up the game. It'll be really back and forth again in the start. But Gamer does have his own Blastmancer in this APEP, which it's not as good of a counter as it is in
hovering beam over that Scrat tank. Wow, he uses that with the
Screaming Scrat to open the lid.
Scrat to keep the lid open while the beam deals with it. Okay, he actually gets a pretty decent minion for Video Gamer.
Grenadier's definitely solid. It's not the best card, but it's better than... He could have got something like Combust, and that would have been really rough for him.
That might have been game over on the spot, honestly.
Yeah. Pretty good value from the wheel.
But, I don't know, it just looks like Cat with the stronger minions overall, going off to a experienced lead here.
Yeah,
He's
quickly
shielded
leading into his
crossbow
perk 2 again with a significant XP lead. He's already 20 XP ahead going into perk 2.
The shielded crossbow dudes are sort of not doing a whole lot. Like, typically, they're just very, very weak for 4-mana minions. I know they have a shield, they're very good against spells, but Cat is not relying on spells at all in this, so it just feels like the shielded crossbow dudes are sort of a dead card here.
And Gamer loses the Morgul to those Flightless Dragons and plays the Screaming Scrat, so he loses even more mana on it, and Cat still walks away with that bottom bridge.
Oh, Cat with a rare misplay there, yeah! Like,
oh man, he doesn't get the
swap
Divine
for
in
on
the
point, but there the swap just actively hurt himself. I'm sure he thought that it would stun the Cleaver, but instead it got his own Flame Imp killed.
But despite that misplay, Cat still walks away with both bridges here. He's 30 XP ahead.
Yeah,
and this is another pretty solid push coming in. It's going to get a bit of face damage before the Blastmancer can clear it up.
Yeah, finally gets rid of all those. Still Video Gamer behind the experience. He's just... it's just... He needs his perk 3 still in order to handle all this extra value that Cat gets and just his better minions in general. Just this Fire Imp is just so hard to deal with. The Strat Tank is hard to deal with as well. And Video Gamer just like getting his hand clogged with a bunch of spells that he doesn't really can use very much. I mean, this Beam is just sort of useless. I mean, he tried to use it to good effect in top lane, but didn't get a whole lot done.
Not able to get a lot of value from it.
And now he plays this Cleaver against a Scrat Tank, but now he's got these enraged Fire Imps to deal with.
And the enraged Drone Buzzers are going to deal with the Cleaver, though.
Yeah, they're just so annoying unless you've got...
and this XP lead is massive from Cat right now. He is nearly 50 XP ahead going into his perk 3. And Gamer really needs his perk 3. He needs that free card, and he needs it to be really good value. And Cat's just so far ahead at this point.
At this rate,
by the time he gets it...
Like, at Mana Frenzy. Oh no.
Oh, and that beam,
that's gonna be hard now to defend against. He does manage to kill the Fire Imp at least, but it's gonna be a while before the Scrat Tank can be dealt with. And these these Flightless Dragons, it might just end the game. It looks like Video Gamer just
this totem ends, he's going to take so much damage. There's just too much for him to deal with.
Flightless Dragons hitting him over and over.
The enraged buzzers, there's just so much. It's too much. That's going to be it for Gamer. He can't clear this.
You can't. You just against Cat, you cannot afford to have 7 mana just completely down the drain for nothing and expect just. You just see, he just lost instantly from that.
That's all it took.
All right, well, that is 3-0 to Cat. Just unfortunately, just like I thought. Like, I'm hoping that our next good job for Video Gamer for getting all this way and doing his best against this. But I do hope that someone else in this tournament that's going to be playing against Cat in the finals either has some trick against this King Puff or just bans it, because I don't see. It's not something you can ignore any longer. So, well played to Cat. He's going to be moving on to the finals.
Another Cat finals.
Yeah. And our next match is going to determine who he's going to be playing against. So it's going to be, let's see, Zinio versus... It's not updating. Hold on. Zinio versus Maddy. Yes. Maddy, of course, winning a very, very, very close match against Westland. And Zinio, sort of getting a free pass to the semifinals from the quarterfinals.
He
had a
definitely
bit of an unfortunate thing happen with his opponent.
Yeah, it was a little unfortunate, but I'm sure Zinio isn't going to complain about that. I know he does like the competition, and he would have liked to have a real match to get into this point, but
All right. So now we get to see Zinio trying to play for real, of course. So again, we sort of discussed these decks. I'm still very, very interested in what this Diona does. Okay, I'm spectating Zinio, it looks like. Yeah. Oh, well, I'll try to. There we go.
alright, I will try to get my spectate on Maddy here. Alright. And there it is.
Okay. So, what are these decks looking like? I'm still very excited to see this future present, future past King Puffin play. I always like the future past and future present cards because just every time you play the deck, you get something different and you have to adapt not only to what your opponent's doing, but what cards you got. And it's really fun to play like that.
Yeah, you really need to know the card pool and know how to play with more than, you know, just the basic cards that you see really frequently, because you might get something a little strange. You might get something that you don't see every day. So it can show a good mastery over the entire card pool.
Okay. So, yeah. Right. It looks like there's a bit of confusion about the bans, but looking over some of the decks, like I'm still very interested in seeing how Zinio does. Like, what do you think about like how effective do you think that Diona deck is?
I think the Diona deck is definitely really interesting. It's different than most. You don't really see a lot of the buildings, let alone both the Swarmer Totem and the Crossbow Guild in one deck. I think that it has the chance to be really good though, because the Diona Taunt Totem can really swing it if you have a lot of minions built up from one of those buildings.
Mm-hmm. I think it also makes sense for Diona to try and play a more defensive, like, value style, because as long as she wants the action to take place on her side of the field, so that her ruffles can get the little potion drops.
Yeah.
So trying to force your opponent to say, "Hey, I placed down this passive building. You need to come and destroy it." It sort of encourages the opponent to play into you, which is what she wants. So it makes sense.
Yeah. And we're loading into the game here.
Okay, let's see what both players have picked. It looks like the bans went through. Zinio had banned Ratbow. Maddy had banned
Play
Volko.
cards.
So
This will be fun.
Zinio opens up with his Setsu, and Maddy with the Mordar. So it should be a pretty interesting match, and see how this goes. Zinio has good tools to control the tombstones here. He does have the Shock Rock, and he has the Dragon Ball, so he has really good tools to control the reses from the Mordar.
That said, this is Maddy doesn't really have any like huge minions that he's trying to res. It's just a bunch of like 4 and 5 mana stuff. So controlling the reses isn't really that important here. So it looks like Maddy is just going to be able to res something pretty good anyway. All right, and it looks like Maddy's first tombstone is going to come down soon. There it is. And Zinio going into the mid lane with this, and
jumps here to deal with this
Maddy
Soul Stealer.
trying to block that Setsu shots with his Divine Warrior, but couldn't quite do it.
And that's really good for Zinio. He gets that Soul Stealer down before the tombstone's ready. So that leads into a Divine Warrior res, which is pretty solid value for
Zinio
Maddy.
tried to stop it with the Dragon Ball, but was just a little bit too late. Like, basically, he'd played the Dragon Ball on the Tombstone, and the Dragon Ball was just barely about to kill the Tombstone, but right then the Divine Warrior died and got rezzed. So
yeah, it was really close.
Overall, a little bit of a misplay from Zinio, but I think still he's winning in experience overall right now.
Winning in experience, and he has good tools for the late game as well. So winning in experience is really good for him. As he gets into the later Setsu perks, he's going to be able to dish a lot of damage with that drop. A good Screaming Scrap from Maddy to pull the Setsu off and save the Soul Stealer.
Yeah, the Soul Stealer is saved for now, although Dragon Ball is hovering now, trying to hit that Soul Stealer. He does hit it.
And he clears off both. Really good. And this is a nice push coming in. The Defenso Chopper is going to shut it down really quickly, though. Strong card.
Yeah, it's just sort of an issue with Zinio's deck right now. He doesn't have a whole lot capable of dealing with this Defenso Chopper. There's no, like, Flame Imp or other strong ranged minions in his deck that's capable of dealing with that, really. I guess he has Setsu herself, but often Setsu's going to be elsewhere.
Yeah. Ooh. The Shock Rock to stop.
Yeah,
any
he didn't
reses.
want that divine, didn't want the Defenso Chopper getting res, so he's going to try and deal with that
And
there.
he uses the Setsu jump here to deal some more damage to these tombstones.
Yeah, he actually killed one of the tombstones. Maybe he's gonna
He
try and
might get
kill
the
this
other
one.
I think he's going to get the other before he
warrior.
Oh, almost, but it will time out. Oh, it doesn't time out. The Divine Warrior reses.
He played
So
his
close.
he played his Wolf Among Sheep too early and manages to res that Divine Warrior from one of those tombstones. He definitely was worth waiting just a little bit longer to try and avoid that from happening.
He plays the Dragon Ball to deal with the Soul Stealer, and he is taking a good bit of damage here from this Mordar deck.
Yeah, I mean, Mortar's trying to do his best to deal lots of damage and punish Setsu for jumping away. She
Yeah.
wouldn't be her own face anymore to protect herself. But
Oh, and he gets the Werewolf res again. It just barely.
well, it's decent. I'm not sure it's the
That's
best res. It's not as bad for Zinio as resing this Soul Stealer, for example. Oh, the Soul
Yeah,
Stealer
the Soul Stealer
barely
would
live. He does-
definitely be a worse res, but the Werewolf can do a lot of damage, though.
Yeah,
It's just a
Zinio actually
really
having a
efficient
lot of
card.
trouble dealing with this. He can't keep up with the reses from Mordar. I mean, of course, Zinio now just hitting perk 3, so the game might now suddenly swing the other way.
Yeah, perk 3 will be really good for him on this Setsu. Not just for dealing with minions, but for going on the offense, if he can get his footing, but he is having a hard time getting his footing against this push.
Yeah, I mean, again, the issue here is, like, he killed that Soul Stealer with a good Setsu jump, but he got rezzed, and now it's
And
coming
at this
back toward
point,
him.
At this point, he's just taking so much damage. And Maddy does have these fireballs he can cycle through to.
Right, although I don't think Maddy can just afford to use them face like this, because now suddenly the aggression have completely turned the other way.
And that's 2 enraged Zows. That's a lot of damage they're going to dish out before you can deal
Yes.
with them. Especially with the fireball coming through. He doesn't hit the Soul Stealer, he's smart, he hits the Tombstone, but it does
This
get
is
the
so
res. He doesn't
dangerous
deal with
for
it in
Maddy
time.
right now, and Setsu's
This is
piling on
there's the
top
push
of
from
stuff
Setsu.
before.
The perk 3 stuns are coming out as he cycles through these spells, and this is a
Oh my
massive push.
God.
This might be it. This is going to be it for Maddy.
Zhao
He
was
can't
the
stop it.
sunlight.
It's too
Yeah,
much.
that's
The
it.
enraged Zhaos are too strong.
I knew that fireballing face was a bit greedy there, but I wasn't sure if he was just gonna die immediately for it, and he did.
He did. Zinio was really quick to punish that mana he spent on his face. He knew that he didn't have great answers for the push. He knew he was down the mana from the fireball, and he really he put the pedal to the metal. He just capitalized really quickly.
I mean, it was a number of things. It was also just like that was his last chance as well, because he was so low on health he needed to make something happen, and with just the stars aligned right there because he also had hit perk 3 very, very recently, and that was by far Setsu's strongest point. Like the only time in the game when Setsu was going to be better than Mordar and be able to beat him.
Now fight each other. Do it.
All right.
Let's go.
So Maddy is going to have to do a little bit of a better job respecting the power of that perk 3 if the game goes that long again.
Yeah. Maddy is playing a Bridge Shrine APEP. Worth mentioning here. Zinio has really good tools, though, with the Setsu jump and some of the other spells in his deck to deal with that Bridge Shrine. And if he can hold the bridges while dealing with it, he'll actually end up ahead in XP anyway.
True.
The 4-mana Bridge Shrine kind of can end up as a dead card in certain matchups like this, where Zinio's the clear aggressor.
That is correct. Although, on the other hand, even if Maddy does play the Bridge Shrine down and Zinio tries to jump it, Maddy does have a few options to try and protect it. Like if he plays his Gruul to take up the Setsu shots instead. And he might be trying to do that right now.
And Maddy gets...
Oh, instead it's a Fireball. That's also really good against...
And you can see there, Maddy actually got a second Grasping Thorns from his APEP perk 1, a really strong card. Unfortunately, the Setsu jump right to his face.
Yeah, it's just not very good against the Setsu jump.
Yeah, Setsu jump deals with it really well, and he's getting a lot of damage here. I mean, he's taking damage too because he's not actually there to defend.
Yeah, Maddy actually a bit of a unique to try strategy against Setsu, just saying, okay, I don't actually care about the Setsu jump. I'm just going to go to your face as well, and that's actually...
They end up trading damage.
If you have enough health to make sure that you're not in danger of dying, it's actually probably the best thing you can do against it, because it just... Setsu just has a hard time getting aggression if she's the one that's low on HP.
Especially when you're playing this APEP and he does have the totem coming up, he's about to hit perk 2, which means trades like that are going to go even more in his favor as the game goes on, because he'll be able to pop that totem for the invulnerability.
Yep. And there is the totem. And this time Setsu doesn't even bother trying to jump face. He's just trying to control the game a little bit more. So, yeah, Maddy, still a bit of a head in experience. Not as much as you'd expect from a Bridge Shrine deck, but enough to be winning, for sure. I think, still, a lot is going to depend on what Maddy can get from his perk 3.
And there's the Dragon Ball unactivated just to deal with that Bridge Shrine and get a little bit of face damage there.
That does sort of give a tempo advantage to Maddy, though, allowing him to like basically just take over these bridges almost unopposed. At least now it's sort of allowing Maddy to save up a bunch of mana.
He is building up a bit of mana here, and he's going to get enough to get out another Bridge Shrine and just try to play this XP game and keep ahead.
Okay, here comes Setsu again on that Bridge Shrine. Let's see if Maddy can try and defend it. No, he doesn't
have the Morgirl to push him away, and he didn't really play anything. He had the mana, but I don't know if he was just waiting it out. He wanted to get more than that.
Yeah, I just don't think he can afford to do nothing against it and let his Bridge Shrine die like that. Oh, and here comes Dragon Ball 2. This is actually
a really big Wolf Among Sheep Dragon Ball push, too.
Yeah.
And this is going to do a lot of damage. The Shock Rock's going to make sure that it gets a couple more hits from the Dragon Whelp.
That Dragon Whelp did hundreds of damage there.
It's so powerful, and
so
honestly...
that was very, very successful. If Zinio can keep that up, then he's going to kill Maddy before Mana Frenzy, for sure.
Oh yeah, especially as he's getting closer to his perk 3. He's about 10 away, and once Setsu gets that perk 3, that jump becomes insanely dangerous for a slower deck like this with the Bridge Shrine. Because if he plays the Bridge Shrine, that's 4 mana that he doesn't have, and Setsu can just jump face with the stun and cycle through stuns.
Alright, so now the key moment of this game. What did Maddy get? We're gonna have to see here.
He gets the bats, actually.
That's not bad, I think.
It's not a bad card, but I don't think it's what he wanted to deal with this aggression.
He just needs to, make sure he is able to play enough stuff with it. I mean, definitely a very, very strong card, especially when it's for free, because you can build up, like, 10 mana and then play it and all the other mana cards and just get a huge amount of bats that you wouldn't even be able to get with just normal bats for 4 mana.
And he is getting into that APEP turning point where he's cycling really quickly. He already has it back in his hand by the time the first set of bats are cleared up.
The only issue with it is it's like this is the weakest master that you can have against it, because Setsu can just kill all of them with a single stun blast if they group up too much.
And you'll see Zinio's just playing for that aggressive, just going for the damage.
Yeah,
here.
I mean he's trying to get damage, and he does get quite a bit. But the totem did block quite a bit as well, and Zinio does need to be careful because he is also taking damage as well. It's down to 8-10.
And there's another bats.
It might come down to like Zinio trying to go face, but ends up dying as a result, and we'll have to see if Maddy can properly defend just well enough in order to pull that off.
There's the Setsu perk 3, really good for defending this push. Zinio's taking a bit of damage here, which is going to make it harder and harder for him to jump, because one bad jump when he's at this low of HP is it.
Oh, the werewolf getting the damage! And
Maddy has to play the totem.
Forced to play the totem. This is actually huge. This is Zinio's
could be
a really good chance here to try and get some damage in.
This could really be it. That's it. That's going to be it for him, right? He's at 20. Oh, he lives with 24, actually. That's not it. Does Zinio have another
spell in hand? Zinio does have a shock rock. He's cycling to it right now. Maddy needs to realize the shock rock is coming.
Maddy doesn't get the totem out in time to stop the shock rock damage.
No, I think you have to predict it coming and play the totem beforehand. If once the shock rock's in the air, it's too late to try and react to it. It just flies too fast.
Just a little off there.
But even if he had, I mean, that means that
there's still another card coming up really soon.
I think he panicked against that werewolf. He should not have played that totem when he did. It allowed the Setsu jump to come in and deal critical damage to him.
And that leaves Maddy with one last deck to try to take this Setsu.
All right. So yeah, Maddy just down to his Volko.
Duel!
And this.
I'm gonna warn you. My fire ain't
I don't know if this Volko list has what it takes. If I'm being honest, I'm looking it over. He has the really fast cycle, the low curve, so that he can do a lot of damage with the Afterburner. But
it's just, his minions are sort of low power, just like not really pose much of a threat to masters in general, especially someone with a very strong attack like Setsu does.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure he could put enough pressure on Setsu in order to stop her from just going aggressive on Volko all the time.
And also, Zinio has the Dragon Ball, so if you can get good value off of it, killing a minion in the pocket, that Dragon Whelp can be really annoying for Volko and get a bit of free damage in too. So there's a couple things going against him here.
Now you're gonna get it.
Okay. So let's see. Setsu has jumped the first time top lane. Wasn't really aggressive with that. Didn't do any damage to Maddy, but just trying to.
But all the while he's been taking damage from this defensive
yeah,
chopper,
the
and now there's a
actually
decent swarm on him.
Damage. And I think that's like his most powerful minion, like damage per mana cost spent of those swarmers, and you can't ignore them.
And Maddy has the defensive chopper. He's waiting to play it here to deal with this push. And it's just so efficient at dealing with the melee.
Yeah.
I think the big concern for Zinio here is that if he takes a lot of damage in those Setsu jumps like that, he continues to. Maddy does have the tools in this game. Playing Volko with the Afterburner, he definitely has more tools this game to get that little bit of damage. Because the last game was so close because of it.
Yeah, this is looking a lot worse for Zinio than I thought it would. Zinio is the one that's taking too much damage here, although he is ahead in experience. it's gonna be a while before that experience matters because, like, perk 2 Setsu isn't really a very big power spike here.
Yeah, he's looking for the perk 3, but in the meantime, Maddy is just chipping away with the afterburner.
At this rate, Zinio's gonna be almost dead by the time he hits perk 3. He's not gonna be able to use it effectively.
And that defensive chopper is just going to shut down that werewolf really quickly.
Yeah, that's the other thing about this. Well, I mean, Maddy has defensive chopper since all his decks, and we're seeing how effective it is against this Wolf Among Sheep, and it's a big reason why the whole like Wolf Among Sheep, like 6 mana into Dragon Ball, just didn't really pan out. It's just so weak against defensive chopper that anytime people are playing defensive chopper, it just seems like that whole combo
goes for the aggressive jump here, and he's taking damage again from an enraged Zhao and the stun. He's taking so much damage. His HP is dropping really quickly, and he can't get control of the bridge. He can't retake the bridge.
He's trying to get aggressive with Setsu, but it just ends up dealing more damage to himself than the opponent.
And his push from Maddy in the bot lane was timed really well to make sure that Zinio couldn't take the bridge, and he's going to close out the game with the afterburner and this push coming through.
Alright. So Maddy finally is able to take a game here and force Zinio to play a different deck. So, so that means Zinio is going to have to switch to either his King Puff or his Diona, both of which I'm very excited to see. I'm glad. I mean, not to be biased against Zinio or anything, but I'm glad that he gets to see one of these other decks being played.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think there's anything wrong with hoping for more games in a set. It's nice to not have the cat 3-0 and we're done, you know? It's good to see more.
Yeah.
And especially with some of the decks that Zinio brings, like this Diona, that's running the double building, it's really different from some of the other decks we've seen. And it'll be nice to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see this, especially against a very refined deck like this Volko. Which did a lot better than I thought it would, of course. It's hard to deal with all these little small minions that each individually bring like a decent amount for their mana cost. Like against Stint and Zhao Long especially, it can be hard to like keep the bridges.
Yeah.
And it's still loading for me.
Likewise.
Okay. Alright, finally in, and we're playing the King Puff. The RNGesus King Puff.
I right away, really like this King Puff deck.
That's what he likes to see. And he's used his Future Past and got a pretty good card. The Molten Totem or whatever what is that thing? Magma Cannon.
Magma Cannon.
Molten Totem? What am I saying?
I think you might have been looking at the Swarmer Totem, or you might have had it in mind. It's okay though.
I don't know. I looked at the picture and I said, "What does this look like?"
The Molten Totem. It's a pretty good get. It's a pretty good card.
So Zinio just sort of ignoring the bridges and his face and everything, and just played both futures. He got Sunburn as his present cost, so that's a 1 mana Sunburn. He ends up so first cast it killed a single propeller scrat.
It's a single propeller scrat with it.
Not the best. I'm sure he's gonna want better than that. There's that Magma Cannon though.
Sunburn is a pretty decent card, especially for the low mana cost there. It'll be a good answer for the Zhao while it's stationary, which is one of the cards that is really strong from Maddy.
Yeah, well, we're just gonna have to see how effective it is, because Zinio is playing a bit from behind here. So he's down about 20 experience already, and also taking a bit of damage from all these.
There's a lot of afterburner ticks from Maddy there, playing a lot of these small things out to get that damage.
Yeah, and all the small stuff, like King Puff is not very good against dealing with all of this, and he's taking a lot of damage from these swarmers and the propellers again.
Yeah, we saw Zinio had
sort of accepting that he's going to take this damage. He's not doing anything to sort of help out. He's just going to try and get bridge control back.
Yeah, and now Maddy's at perk 2, so he has another cheap card for Afterburner. Not to mention that it's also just a really strong card in general, like a good source of removal here. See the damage it puts out on this strat tank.
Well,
The thing is, Zinio had a hard time answering a lot of the swarm when he was playing Setsu, who had better autos. And now with King Puff, he's gonna have to be really careful not to make the mistakes that he's already made this game. He made that one big mistake and let that push through, and he's already below 1,000.
I'm not really sure it's a mistake. It's just not a whole lot he could have done with the tools he had available at the time.
I say he also he didn't really get what he wanted from the future cards, though, getting this Sunburn and the Magma Cannon. He's kind of hoping for a really solid card in the 4 and 5 range for his perk 2.
Yeah, the less situational, the better, because ideally you want to be able to play them just as soon as they're in your hand, so that you can start cycling back to their effects immediately. If you have to hold on to them for a very long time, you're not able to play them as much at their discounted cost effectively, then it really hinders how good those effects are in general. But still, Zinio holding on a little bit. Still behind in experience, though. He needs to find a way to catch up here.
I don't think he's going to manage to catch up in XP before this Volco burn gets him, though. He's taking so much more damage here.
Oh, he tried to take it with the... Wow, that Scratch just melts. That's crazy.
It's a good sunburn. A really good sunburn there to deal with the Xiao as well.
But Zinio just sort of out of mana again and not able to hold on to this critical bottom bridge for long enough.
And you can see the cheap cards coming out from Maddy just quickly doing more and more damage. And Zinio is 3 ticks away. Not even 3 ticks. There's a Daggerfall.
Yes, if he could just take the bridge one more time and then play something else. Oh, he tried. He tried to do that there. The scrap pack just wasn't quite enough because he had played something else there. But he needs to... Yeah, you can see Zinio just desperately...
It's too late. Maddy's...
Over and over. Oh, he's
already got the Magma Storm out, and
okay.
There's just
Maddy's
no chance
saying,
there.
fine, if you're going to be that desperate taking that bridge over and over, then I'll just kill you with a spell instead. Yeah, now we're down to just the final decks from both players. Now, Zinio is going to have to show how good he is with this Diona deck. The double guild Arcane Bolt Diona. I really want to see this surprise me and just pull out a win.
Dueling. Good choice. Let's go crack some skulls.
He could do it. It could happen. Having the 2 buildings here, having the Swarmer Totem and Crossbow Guild is pretty good for him because it'll help him control the marked bridge from Volco, but Maddy has really good cards to answer. I mean, and there's the Magma Storm even to try to answer the Swarmer Totem, and it does.
Yeah, but it also killed his own Xiao, and a Swarmer survived to take top bridge, so I think overall that Zinio was fine with that trade.
Definitely not the worst case for Zinio.
Also, Maddy can't totally rely on that, because if Zinio, like, plays his Xiao long, it's sort of a way to defend against that Magma Storm. Just like plays down his guild and says, "Oh, I don't want to get Magma Stormed. I'll play this Xiao." Like,
yeah,
that could really hurt Maddy if he plays his Magma Storm anyway, because his master can't deal with that Xiao long. It's just gonna hit him in the face over and over. And yeah, these crossbow dudes are a bit annoying to deal with right now for Maddy, just constantly taking over this bot lane bridge where Maddy has his mark.
Definitely a nuisance. And just as the Crossbow Guild ends, he throws out the Swarmer Totem. I would say it's also something else to watch out for is if Maddy plays the Magma Storm again before Zinio has the Crossbow Guild out as well, or if he's going to wait and try to hit both buildings, or if Zinio even plays the Crossbow Guild. You know,
definitely the smart thing to do is to wait, see if Zinio plays the Crossbow Guild.
Yeah, I think Zinio at the same time though isn't going to play it. I think he's going to hold it and wait because he knows Maddy has the Magma Storm.
For a second, Zinio was hovering the Crossbow Guild, but it was like way in front of his playable area, like far away from the Swarmer Totem that he already has down, so he knows the Magma Storm threat, and if he plays it at all, he's definitely going to play it so that it can't be hit, both of them in a single Magma Storm.
Yeah.
Either that or he'll wait till the Swarmer Totem is just down low enough that he doesn't really care if it gets hit and loses it. Which is sort of the case right now. It's like if he loses a full health Swarmer Totem and one that's almost dead, like I don't think he cares that much.
Maddy opts to use the Daggerfall to finish off the one Swarmer Totem and get a bit of damage on the other, but we're still in the same situation where this Swarmer Totem's just going to constantly push out value, and Zinio's not going to play this crossbow.
On the wrong side. Like, now that the Swarmer Totem isn't going to the marked bridge, so that gives Maddy a chance to keep this bottom lane bridge and put in a lot of damage.
It definitely is better for Maddy that it's on the top side now, and you'll see he is getting a couple afterburner ticks in already.
Yeah, I think it was definitely worth Zinio actually, playing that Swarmer Totem on the bot lane.
Maybe should have just waited and played it when the next one died, or played it a little further up, but he has the crossbow guild out now.
Yep. We'll have to see if he's gonna play his other totem. He's not really. It looks like he doesn't want to play more than one at a time, and that seems to be his idea here.
And there's the Magma Storm on the crossbow guild, and I'm sure as soon as this Magma Storm ends, and you'll probably play the Swarmer Totem out.
Ruffles gave him some mana, allowing him to immediately play the Swarmer Totem now.
But he has taken a bit of damage already here. He's getting chipped at, kind of. Plays the crossbow guild out this time, but he, like you mentioned earlier, he does play it far enough away.
I don't really agree with that. I'd rather it be playing bot lane or not at all.
Yeah.
Oh wow, he plays Arcane Bolt to deal with that Defenso Chopper. He didn't really want to have that coming in. Looks like Maddy is playing his play that just to hit the top lane crossbow guild. Doesn't really care about that Swarmer Totem for now, but overall, it's the Zinio taking bits of chip damage. Despite these guilds, he's just not quite able to hold on to this bottom bridge long enough. Wow, Ruffles actually sneaking around bot lane and managed to get a mana potion right under Maddy's nose.
And here it is, though, where Maddy's controlling this bridge. He's doing the chip damage with the afterburner, and on top of that, he's going to play the Magma Storm to deal with this crossbow guild, and that's more face damage just piling on, and Zinio's down to 100. That's going to be it. Maddy has the burn.
Wow. Yeah, I think his guilds were pretty good. It's just he didn't have enough else in order to back them up and actually keep the bottom lane marked bridge long enough to prevent too much damage. So well played to Maddy, actually getting the reverse sweep with his Volko, beating all of Zinio's decks.
That's really well done. He played that really well. That Volko is really powerful.
Yeah, I mean, we already know this Volko has a really good potential to be a very dangerous master to play against. And really just chip you down, and just feels like there's just no hope of getting to Mana Frenzy. And if you can't be aggressive against the Volko either, then not really a whole lot you can do.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a finals then, Maddy versus Cat. And that's going to be an exciting one to watch. I think Maddy does have a few decks here which stand a good chance against what Cat is doing. So I'm going to be very, very excited to see how this goes. But for now, we're going to take a short break and come back with the finals once the players are ready. So we will see you soon for Cat versus Maddy, the finals of KPC 31.
And that brings us back around. It's now tied up. It's even again.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to the finals of KPC 31. So once again, this is Cat versus Maddy, both doing a very, very good job. Maddy having a bit of a rougher time getting here. He's got a lot of 3-2 matches, but still very, very convincing performances.
Really well played from Maddy in the last set to keep his cool and bring it back from 2-0 to 3-2. Says a lot about a player when they can keep their head and actually make a reverse sweep like that happen.
Yeah, exactly. And just now is the really big challenge for him is trying to deal with this king the king puff, of course, but that's really what it is, isn't it? Like cat in general, of course, but specifically that king puff deck, he needs to either like come up with a way to deal with it. I think banning it's the easy way, right? So I wouldn't be sad to see that happen either.
So the thing at this point, right, is everybody lets Cat play the King Puff. Okay, we've seen Cat play this King Puff. It hasn't been banned, and that really begs the question: is the King Puff not his best deck? Is this Mordar, one of these other decks that he has, is that the real threat? If so, I mean, that's really not going to bode well for everybody. Or at this point, I guess it's just Maddy, really, but it would be nice to see the King Puff banned. It'd be cool to see Cat play something other than this King Puff that he's been so dominant with.
Yeah, exactly. And that's definitely what I want to see as well. So either have it banned or even have... Well, I mean, if Maddy is capable of beating it, then that's going to be really, really good to see as well. Like, I'd be more excited to see that than just having it banned, but like, I'm just looking over his decks. I'm not sure there's anything there that can beat it.
Yeah.
Like, we've already seen like Bridge Shrine strategies not work against this. That the Blastmancer is too good to hold off all that aggression. I mean, maybe the APEP would be good enough if he gets very tanky minions from both of his perks that can stall up the Blastmancer enough and push through to kill it. But
at that point, you're
that's
kind of leaving it to RNG, and
exactly. And
against a player like Cat, against
exactly.
a player like Cat, you don't want to leave it up to RNG. You want to do what you can to maximize your own contribution to the win. You don't want to have it be, if I get the right card, I can win this. You want to make sure that you have the right cards in your deck and you have the right answers.
Yeah, so I'm expecting a Mordar ban from Cat, and then really, really hoping that Maddy then bans the King Puff, because I don't think his remaining 3 decks can beat it. So that's what I'm expecting and hoping for.
I'll second you on the King Puff ban. I'd like to see the King Puff ban, not only because Cat's been so dominant on it, but just for the hope to see Cat play something else for a couple games. You know, it'd be really nice to see some of these other decks, because at this point he's brought 4 decks. He's capable of playing 4 decks, but he's only really had to play the one. And versus something like Maddy, where we just saw him really go through the ringer and play everything to get here. I do think that there's a chance Cat bans the Volko. I think that the Volko list is pretty strong, and Cat, with his playstyle, Volko is a pretty good answer to Cat's playstyle, because Volko is really good at making sure you don't make it to that mana frenzy point where Cat's so dominant.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with that is I think Cat's just so good at like keeping the bridges that Volko won't be able to keep the marked bridge long enough to burn Cat down before Cat hits his perk 3 on his King Puff.
That's true. It's definitely a big concern with that.
All right. So, still waiting for bans to come in. Oh, I need to spectate someone, huh?
Yeah, I'm spectating Cat, but I can switch if you'd rather.
Let's see. I'll spectate Maddy in just a second. Once he gets this spectate through. Well, Oops. Nope. Here we go. Okay.
Just giving the players another moment.
Yes. So, what else is there to say about this? I guess I'm going to talk assuming that, for now, assuming that Cat can't play as King Puff. He's got his other 3 decks, and I'll have to, and Maddy's going to have to find another way to deal with all of those with his other decks as well. So, I think for it's possible as Stormbringer is just a little bit too slow on the power that the Bridge Shrine strategies will work. I mean, also those decks do not have Blastmancer. Both the Cat's Milloween and Stormbringer both do not have Blastmancer, so like that's much more vulnerable against the Bridge Shrine strategies that Maddy has. Let's see. Having a bit of issues.
Just a couple technical difficulties. Just a couple more minutes here, and I'm sure we'll be underway.
Okay, so we got the spectate finished up. Still just waiting on bans.
We wrapped up the spectate issue, and now we're having another issue.
Yes, Cats won't let me in the lobby. It's just loading. Blame FDM repeatedly. All right, so what else do we have to talk about for this deck list? I'm looking at Cat's Mordar deck right now. In particular, like Harbinger is just sort of unusual for Cat to play because it just sort of doesn't fit his style very much. He likes to play those like cycling cards, and this can sort of interfere with his tombstone sometimes.
Yeah, it's definitely a little different than what he normally plays.
Okay. But he does have the Harbinger. I'm not quite sure how good that is against a lot of Maddy's decks. Maddy does seem to have plenty of anti-air in most of his decks. I guess his Mordar deck is light on anti-air, but it has the Fireball to help deal some damage to the Harbinger as well. He's also got Magma Storms in 2 of his decks, so that can be an option to just deal with that Harbinger.
Yeah, those will be really good to answer the Harbinger.
And maybe Maddy might hope that... Oh, man, it just seems like we can't... It's very, very difficult to both spectate and have them both in the same lobby right now for some reason.
Just a couple more technical difficulties.
Yeah, I'm not sure why this is happening now. We didn't have any other issues like this in all the previous games, so I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, it's kind of really unfortunate that it happens here before the finals.
Do we? Is there a way to? Okay. Well, they're going to try to reopen Minion Masters. You're still spectating Cat?
I am about to be spectating Cat again, yes.
Well, maybe you can try spectating Maddy, and if I spectate through Cat through Steam as like the last thing we do, then maybe things will be okay.
Alright, let me see. I do have the option to spectate both of them now, so that's already progress over earlier. Hopefully they can get in the
Okay.
lobby together, though.
Spectate Maddy then.
Yep. Alright.
And then I'll wait to spectate Cat at the end when they get the lobby in. Alright.
Awesome,
Okay,
they're in
they're
a
in the
lobby
lobby.
together now,
I'm
so...
spectating Cat. I think we're good. Can we get the bans now, please?
Ban time.
Alright, so can we have a ban, please? I'm
Time
Cat.
for the bans.
Yes.
We've resolved all the technical problems, it seems, and we're ready to move forward. Cat's gonna ban the Mordar.
He did, of course. Okay.
Yep, there's the Mordar gone.
And then Maddy bans King Puff. So yes, we're going to see
we get to see a different
masters,
deck from
finally,
Cat.
yep. So let's see what Cat tries to use here. He might go into his Mordar, just maybe hoping and thinking that the Harbinger is like there's not enough that Maddy can do to deal with it. But I'm hoping that there is. I mean, I'm certain that Maddy has a better chance against that Harbinger than he does against this King Puff.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. I think this is already off to a better start for Maddy. They've made good choices in the bans.
All right, so I believe the game is going to be starting soon. We'll have to see what strategies both players try to go with here. But either way, I'm excited to see some games where I think Cat might be taken a little bit out of his comfort zone here for once. It's strange to say that about his King Puff. He's wasn't originally known for having such a strong King Puff, but
And
here we
he
go.
does
Mordar instead.
does open up with his own Mordar.
Now this could go very badly for Cat if Maddy gets things like drone buzzers and propeller scrats from his perks.
We have another issue really quickly. We'll be right back into the next game. Apparently there was an issue with the decks. Maddy was on the wrong deck.
Okay.
The deck was set up with the wrong hero.
Either that or, like, I don't know. Did he have the right cards?
I'm thinking he had the right cards with the wrong master.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see exactly what happened here.
Look, this finals will happen sometime soon, stream. We are working towards it.
So I'm not. Okay. So yeah, we're still figuring out what's going on here. What? Oh, okay. So according to the rules, Cat now can pick the deck that Maddy plays with. So Cat has decided that he'll play with APEP. Okay.
Alright, so it is going to be the APEP from Maddy, this time with the right cards.
Even though it seemed like Maddy it looked like he was trying to play with his Volko and got the wrong master by mistake. But anyways, even so, we're going to be going back into the game soon. Soonish.
Soon.
All right,
So it will be Cat's Mortar versus the APEP.
Yeah, I mean, with the Bridge Shrine, that's gonna be I mean, the Mana Frenzy from the APEP is not gonna be as strong as it usually could. Again, the Mordor has a Blastmancer in his deck, and it's possible that can be rezzed over and over from Tombstones as well. So that's sort of an issue for the Mana Frenzy strategy that his APEP would have. So that's going to be a bit of a problem for him. So it's really going to depend on what APEP can get off his perks and turn this thing around. As I said, like either a stun like a Shock Rock would be really, really, really good against this Mordor. Otherwise, you could get something like Propeller Scrats to help him against this Harbinger a little bit.
Yeah. There are a couple of good answers for him that he could get from this perk 1. We'll have to wait and see what he gets, though.
Alright, so right away, Maddy playing that Bridge Shrine, he knows that he's up against a deck that isn't super aggressive, of course. So he feels like it's perfectly safe to play that down. It's also generally very, very good against Harbinger, though, because the idea is Harbinger sort of punishes half-hearted aggression, where as long as the opponent feels like they're forced to play stuff, but like you don't want to float your mana, so you play stuff, but then if it's just gonna die to Harbinger for free, like you can't get anything done. It's very, very good at controlling the field.
I will note
the counter for Harbinger is just like try to play useful things that aren't minions, so that the Harbinger can get close enough to your side of the field, so that you can kill it safely.
Maddy did get the Shock
very
Rock.
Good at that.
Maddy did get the Shock Rock from his perk 1
really?
there.
Okay,
that was where that came from, the first one he threw there. So that'll be a really, really good card for him.
Well, that's like step 1 that he needed to win this game for sure, is getting a Shock Rock like that.
That's exactly where he wanted to be.
Really helps him control the reses here. Make sure he doesn't like get Blastmancers rezzed, things like that. At least don't let Blastmasters res when he doesn't want them.
Yeah.
And especially, it's also really good against this Harbinger as well. This Cat has not played his Harbinger yet. I wonder if Cat realizes that Maddy now has a Shock Rock and maybe shouldn't ever play it. It looks like he's playing it now against this Defenso Chopper, which is a good play. It does very, very well against that Defensor, of course.
Yep, really, really good play. Just gonna get his creeps out on the board. He's getting his minions out there. He has both of his tombstones up. Maddy can control one of them, but he can't Shock Rock both of them. So he'll probably wait. Oh, yeah.
He lets his Zhao long res. That's fine.
Res.
I'm sure he's fine with that.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
But you might want to
best.
Shock Rock to prevent this.
It will make it harder for him to Shock Rock, though. The Zhao will make it harder for him to Shock Rock the second tombstone.
I kind of feel like he should have anyway.
I agree. I think it would have been worth it there.
Because now he's got this Scrap Tank coming in, and this Harbinger's still here. He's still unable to deal with it.
And the Harbinger is on his face, and it's going to get another hit out. Oh, there's the totem. Good totem to answer it. He uses the Shock Rock there on the minions, which means he won't have it for these tombstones. And we're looking at probably another Scrat Tank res, maybe a Scrat Tank and a Fire Imp res actually, and those are both really good minions, especially really critical. The Fire Imp res in the bottom side behind this Scrat Tank.
Yeah, Cat just has enough that, like, having the tombstones to stall these reses a little bit isn't really gonna be that helpful. Oh, Maddy getting a that Magma turret again, which is gonna help him defend till Mana Frenzy.
The Molten Totem.
The problem is I kind of feel like Maddy's fate is sealed now, because while that is good for defending, it's not going to be good for actually killing Cat once Maddy hits Mana Frenzy, which is what he needed here.
And honestly, at this point, Cat's only 10, 15 XP behind. He's not significantly far behind on the crawl to Mana Frenzy.
Yeah,
and we know he has the right cards to stall out for that extra 10 if he needs to. And honestly, at this point too, the game isn't looking like it's going to make it that far. I mean, Maddy is constantly taking damage from these pushes.
Yeah, I mean, the Harbinger is doing a good job of being able to just, like, stay on the Cat's side of the field long enough that he can just build up a really strong counter push to Maddy's side.
And right there is 80 damage from this Blastmancer.
Not gonna get more than that. It's just gonna die to these thorns. Looks like, or maybe not. Okay, it did.
It dies right at the edge there. But now we're back again with Cat having both of his tombstones out. He has the Harbinger, he has the Xiaolong. He's gonna get the Xiao Res, which actually isn't the worst thing for him here. It's a pretty okay card. It's not
anything else on his field.
Yeah, it's worse than the other things on his field, but at the end of the day, that's still a 3 mana res. That's still value, especially with Frenzy already from the perk 3.
Okay, it looks like Maddy did manage to avoid all the damage here, although he's having trouble dealing with this Harbinger still.
And there's a second Harbinger out now too. There's a second one out.
Oh, and the Zhao goes down as well. Okay, manages to deal with one of the Harbingers still. He's still holding on. It's gonna be another
Xiao Res. And the Blastmancer's out in the bot side here. The Harbinger's gonna deal with the Magma Cannon. There's a Scrat Tank, and this is a really scary push from Cat again.
Forced to just play the Totem against this Zhao Long damage. Oh, he tries to Shock Rock that Totem, but does it too late, and the Zhao reses anyway. He can't afford to waste his free stuff like that.
And at this point, Maddy is 5 XP from Mana Frenzy, but there's 2 Harbingers on the field. There's 2 Totems up for more reses.
It looks like he is going to manage to deal with these Harbingers, though. And he's hitting Mana Frenzy basically right now at this second. So
and he has the Mana Frenzy, but it's only 10 XP ahead, and at this point his HP is so low that this Blastmancer is going to constantly be ticking, so he has to cycle for the Totem while answering everything.
Totem up? Okay, he does. But he's down to just 66.
He's so low.
This is so close, yeah.
He's within 4 pops from the Blastmancer
now as well. And I don't think Maddy has enough to fight back against this. Just like a few little explosions from the Blastmancer is gonna be enough.
And the Magma Cannon might be an okay defensive card, but it doesn't take bridges, so playing it out isn't going to help him get the bridge for the mana from Mana Frenzy either. And you can see the power here. There's the Blastmancer out again. It does another 20 damage.
It has the bridges, and all this stuff is coming in between.
It has like, 2 Xiaos out.
Stones, the extra mana from Mana Frenzy. Maddy can't keep up at all.
And there's just no way.
Yeah, I mean, that Magma Turret, it kept him in the game, but he just had no hope of actually winning the game with that card. So he needed better than that. I think also, like, the Shock Rock wasn't as good as I thought it would be.
I don't think he used the Shock Rock as efficiently as he could have either, though. There were a couple times where he missed out on stopping reses that would have made a big difference.
Yeah, maybe. And also the times he just, like, tried to do that, but did it too late.
Yeah, just a couple misplays around it.
It might have been just better for him to just try to use it on the enemy minions constantly. I know it triggers Xiaolong, but I don't think you can be so scared of triggering Xiaolong that you hold on to your free spell that you should be trying to play as much as possible. Okay, so we're on to the next game. Well, soon, when Maddy decides what he's going to play next. Probably going to switch to his Volko now. I believe that was what he was intending to play originally. Although he might want to try his... I definitely think the Volko is going to have a better chance against this Mordar than Ratbo would.
I agree.
The Blastmancer is way too good against Ratbo. There's just no hope there.
And the Blastmancer alone really it's the same situation with Gamers list earlier, the other list earlier. The Blastmancer alone really just cancels out what you're trying to do with the rat bow. And he does go with the rat bow here. And I don't think we're going to see a big change. I think this is actually a worse matchup for him than the APEP matchup was.
Yeah,
and
it is. It definitely is.
Yeah, and he's...
I'm not sure if he watched the match where Video Gamer tried basically this exact thing, and I mean it was against Cat's King Puff deck and not a Morgar deck. But
yeah,
I mean,
I think
they're kind of the same decks, right? Like,
yeah. The real
basically
issue
the same
is
cards.
the real issue is, right, this list, this Rappo list is so similar to Maddy's list that he just lost with on the APEP. The only real difference that's worth mentioning is that he has the Magma Storm as an answer for Harbinger, but the Harbinger, I mean, the Harbinger is not really the focus point here for Cat to win this matchup. It's really this Blastmancer.
Yeah, I think Cat can win this without even playing Harbinger once. He might even do that.
He might not. Harbinger is definitely not the primary card that he's going to worry about here. It's going to sit in the back probably. He's going to keep it because it's 7 mana that he doesn't have to spend. And in the meantime, we'll see. Really similar to last game, Maddy is going to crawl ahead in XP early on. There's the Harbinger.
So he does play it now just to sort of have something to do.
And the Magma Storm doesn't get the Tombstone before it reses the Scrat. It does deal with the Harbinger though.
Yeah.
But
that's the other thing about Magma Storm versus Harbinger. It's not actually guaranteed to even kill the Harbinger. You could.
Yeah.
I hesitate to say unlucky because I don't think it's actually that much of a chance for it to just miss the Harbinger with most of its the fireballs and only hit it once, which isn't enough to kill the Harbinger.
And now we have this push coming in from Cat on the side of the field, the bottom side. And it's it's a solid push. It's just the minions that he plays are really efficient at winning trades, and then they stick around, right? So he wins the trade, he gets the mana value, and then the opponent has to play another card to deal with them. And it's really what we see from Cat every time. Even the King Puff, it's what we see. He just plays efficient answers, he plays them for the mana value, and then they're still on the board and the opponent ends up in the negatives. And
yeah, I mean,
Maddy's in the same boat here.
That's sort of my same style that I've been playing a lot from the start when I realized that it was so strong in this game. It's like really good to just control the bridges, play cards that can take them, and then counter push. And Cat has just sort of perfected that style at this point. Maddy's struggling to... I mean, Maddy only a little bit ahead in experience, and the experience doesn't really matter as much as he probably thinks it does. Like, even if he gets Mana Frenzy first, which he certainly will at this rate, this Blastmancer is probably going to keep Cat in the game long enough for Cat to get his own Mana Frenzy and then win anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, Cat is, again, he just has the right answers. The XP lead, well, he does play for the XP lead in general. In a matchup like this where he's going to be a bit behind, the Blastmancer, the Fire Imp, there's so much good AoE in his deck that the Swarm from Rappo just won't get through.
Oh, the Fire Imp bot lane is still up. Really bad for Maddy. He needs to try and distract them. He can't afford to take this damage, but he does anyway. And now he's down to the point where, like, he does need to be careful about his HP and not be sure not to play too much into enemy Blastmancers because that chip damage is going to add up too much.
And there's a Magma Storm to try to kill off both these Tombstones. He does get rid of the res and the other Tombstone, so that's okay. But I mean, look at bot lane here. Look at this push coming out of Cat, and again, it's the Blastmancer. It's the Blastmancer with the Scrap Tank
against that, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, he didn't take any damage from it. That defensive chopper did a really good job of like holding everything down. Oh, and Cat trying to play that illusory cleaver to deal with the propellers, but as long as the propellers are staying still, already attacking something, they're not gonna attack the illusory cleaver and kill themselves. So bit of a rare misplay from Cat, thinking that illusory cleaver will work. It was only like a 1-mana mistake.
Oh, that's such a I won't say unlucky again, but that Magma Storm shows how dangerous it is there. Not just for the opponent, but for you. You see, he kills the Blastmancer dies, he gets the res, and then it doesn't kill the frenzied Blastmancer coming out of the res, and this Blastmancer gets a couple pops off, makes it to face, and it's just, that's how risky the Magma
Did a lot
Storm.
of damage. I mean, it's still a Blastmancer. It's not the highest DPS, but it's enough.
But against this Rappo,
Maddy
it's
had
something
troubles
you
against
want.
it, yeah.
And that's really how dangerous Magma Storm is. Relying on an RNG card like that, it normally does what you want, but in the situations where it doesn't, you end up down 5 mana. And you can't afford to be down 5 mana against a player like Cat.
Alright, well, Maddy's still hanging in there. Oh, the Magma Storm isn't hitting enough.
It's not getting the
Long
Zhao,
is still
it's not
alive.
getting the
It
Enraged
missed the
Zhao.
Zhao completely. Well, I mean, it breaks its shield.
It breaks the shield, but the Enraged Zhao is
No.
still going, and there's the Blastmancer pop too.
Yeah, I mean,
I really...
not to say that he was gonna win regardless of that. Like, even
he was
hit
definitely on the back foot.
but
I
still.
really think that Maddy made a bit of a mistake playing the Rappo there. I think he might have overestimated what he could do with it.
Yeah, I mean, you think, if you just think in a vacuum, Ratbo versus Mordor, you think, oh, Ratbo is Daka, it's really good against Mordor, but just not when there's a Blastmancer in the mix. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. And that leaves Maddy with one deck. We have seen him in this position already today, and we saw that he could bring it back, but it's going to be a struggle against Cat.
I feel like this is
his best matchup.
this is by far the best matchup he could have against this Mordor.
Yeah, from his decks, this is definitely the best chance he has, but
I mean, it is a Harbinger, which is a flying minion against Volko, but I mean, most Masters can't hit the Harbinger anyway, so it's not really that much of a disadvantage for Mordor. And on the other side, this Volko deck in particular has quite a bit of anti-air. It's got the Nether Bat, Propellers, Stint, Zhao Long, and even like spells like the Daggerfall and
the Magma Storm.
Magma Storm if he needs them to finish off air. So
he does have some good
Harbinger
answers.
really isn't that big an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side, like,
the real thing here is going to be if he can control the bridge to actually get the Afterburner procs.
Yeah, I think, and Cat's gonna, I think, struggle most against that. Like, I know Cat's style is to, like, try and take the bridges as much as possible. But right away, Maddy has this bot lane bridge. Cat, though, does play the scrap pack to take it back. But Cat, of course, is very, very good at dealing with those. Like, Illusory Cleaver takes the bridge, Cat perfectly plays that Screaming Scrat, which is amazing for just taking bridges back from specifically Illusory Cleavers.
Mm-hmm.
So Maddy does need to put in effort against this to try and get that damage in with the Afterburner procs.
And there's the Tombstone and the Blastmancer. And both out there, ready to go, and the Scrat Tank's just gonna push over. Maddy's gonna wait. Smart to wait and make sure that he has the mana to answer everything at once, rather than trying to answer a single
He'd rather
part.
want the Zhao Long to hit him in the face for now, instead of hurting his Defenso Chopper. He wants that Defenso Chopper to be able to
That Blastmancer.
control the bridge as much as possible.
The Blastmancer really leashed
Whoa!
onto
Magma
that.
Storm! Very lucky there from Maddy with like 3 shots from the Magma Storm, killing that Scrat Tank before it could close its lid and protect itself.
Yeah.
So unusually good Magma Storm there from Maddy this time, sort of making up for the poor Magma Storms he had last game.
Yeah. And there's the Tombstone. We'll get the res on this Scrat Tank, which is a pretty good res.
Or not, actually.
No, there it is.
Oh, there it goes, finally.
It took a minute. It had to make its way in. And he already has the next Tombstone up. He'll probably get this Divine Warrior.
Yeah. And here comes a Harbinger now that Maddy already has some stuff he needs to deal with on his side of the field.
And there's the Magma Storm. We'll see if it does roll really well for him this time. It deals with the Harbinger, it deals with the
It
Blast
doesn't deal with the
Dancer,
Xiao
but
Long though, which is
there
going to
is
do a
an-
lot of damage to him.
Yeah, that is an enraged Xiao on his face. There's a warrior on his face, a Scrat Tank. He has so much hitting him right now. And looking at his hand, he just doesn't have the answers for all of this. He can't quickly deal with it, and you can see the amount of damage that Cat gets there in that one push.
Yeah, it's just the little bit of tanky minions that just managed to get through underneath that Magma Storm. It was a big problem for him.
And that's
Maddy
gonna
now
be
with Burn the
enraged
Bridges is
Xiao
actually
from
really
Cat.
good. That if he just saves that for his Fire Imp repeatedly, then that's going to be one thing that he doesn't really need to worry about that much anymore. But even still, like this defensive chopper, just
The
he's
push
trying
is
to
getting
use it to
through.
hold off the Scrat Tank, but
the push is
like,
getting through, and the Fire Imp is going to hit his face here. It's going to get another hit off on his face, and the Warrior is just chipping away too. It's not dying quickly. The Blastmancer deals with the Scrats, and he's still getting hit. And now Maddy is just 5 ticks away from this Blastmancer. Not even 4. 4 ticks away from this Blastmancer. He's going to have to play around it very carefully.
I'm not really sure there's much of an option to do that though. It just seems like
No, there's...
Maddy
No,
Magma Storm
he knows it's
himself
over.
commits honorable seppuku to end the tournament.
Maddy
And
commits
Cat,
self-die
even
and
with-
gets out of there.
Cat,
That's-
even without his King Puff, still 3-0s with his Mordar instead.
And I think this is really showing that you've seen all throughout the day up until this point, Gamer, somebody who's played with Cat so much, and other players who've played against Cat and seen his King Puff, they still ban this Mordar, they still ban things other than the King Puff, and I think it goes to show it's not just that Cat's an exceptional King Puff player, he is very good at it, and it has the answers, but at the end of the day, Cat's style is just so good, and he knows how to play it with multiple masters.
Yeah. Alright, so that is it. Cat has won King Puff Cup 31. Our winner, once again, he wins a $300 Steel Series code. Maddy, though, very, very, very strong performance. Getting a $100 Steel Series code. And as for the other players, our third and fourth place ties, Zinio and Video Gamer both get $50. And finally, the other players in the top 8, which are Rizzy, Florian, and Westland, both get $25. Not the fake CalGar though. He gets nothing.
He gets nothing. As he deserves.
Alright, so we're gonna have to see if we can get an interview with Cat. Hopefully it's not too late for him. So have to see if that's possible here. We can get that set up, or if we're just gonna wrap things up here. Let's see if I can.
Give him just a moment to answer.
Yeah. But yeah, very, very, very strong performance from both players.
Yeah,
Cat
Cat didn't drop a single game today, I believe. That's
Not a single one, like no
Not even-
game even. Not even in the group stage. You played against 7 different people there, no games dropped. Just wow. Just amazing.
really maintaining his spot at the top.
And I mean, whew, what can you do? Really?
Okay, it looks like it is a little late for Cat, and we won't be doing an interview with him today.
All right. Well, I'm sure he's said what he needs to say in previous tournaments. If you want to see what he says, like go watch the last tournament. He did an interview then. If you want to hear his voice, but Yep.
Honestly, he lets his gameplay speak for him. You know, he really.
Yeah, definitely.
That's all he needs.
All right, so thank you everyone for watching, and of course, thank you for Beta Dwarf, Theo Series, our sponsors, for allowing the players of this tournament of having a nice prize pool. And of course, thank you all the viewers for watching for all this stuff. So, we'll get to see you guys next time for the next King Puff Cup. And in the meantime, hopefully we can see what we can do about this horrible monster that's winning everything. Somebody stop!
Honestly, we need the robot that is Cat to have a programming error for the next KPC maybe, because he is just rolling through.
Yeah. Okay. Well, people have some time to practice up and see what they can do for next time. But win or lose, it was fun to watch these games. I'm glad to cast them. Thanks for casting with me, Apples, and of course, July, Salbai as well, doing admin stuff. All the other casters for group stage. Smoshy, yes, Smoshy.
Also, our streamers for the day, Smoshy and Hamas, I believe, streamed for us earlier.
Yeah. All right. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time.